Get this top chat popped out. There we go. How's it going? Terrible. How you doing? Can't wait. I'm supposed to be getting my GoPro 9. I think I'm going to be picking it up probably this week, and then we'll ship out yours. So I'm stoked to help out the channel. Then when you get it, man, you got to post a video up or something. Tag me in it. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Whatever time you're watching this, as always, thanks for watching Common Sense Fishing. So today's Monday live stream. Dang you, dang it all, dang it everybody. Ram Ranch in the house. How you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. You know it. That's the spiel. Got to keep with it. I like my little tagline. Because you never know when you could be watching this, you know. Like if you like have a favorite podcast or two that you watch, you know, and I have a couple. When you're watching them, you could be watching them on the toilet, watching them laying in bed. You never know. Especially like if it's broken into sections, you know. A lot of guys will do that where they'll do their whole podcast, they'll put it out there, and then like the next day or two, they'll put out clips of it, you know, like chopped down into sections, like their very own video, you know. So it's like take part of the live stream and then make it a video. So I don't know. There's a lot of guys that do that, and they put themselves in the little lower right hand corner. You know? Oh yeah, you should start your own fishing game. Whoop, whoop. Like the Guggen Squad. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of hoping to do eventually with like a whole bunch of YouTubers from the whole West Coast area, Oregon, Sacramento. It would be cool to, you know, I got to maybe get a hold of Tyler Frey, get a hold of like Blanchard, Steve Cooper, you know, Bass Monkey, Coach Miguel, you know, Bearded Bassin, you know, all those guys. All, if I'm forgetting anybody, I'm sorry. All the dudes that, you know, do the Delta, they do a lot of other stuff too. And I got respect for all the fishing guys out here. Pretty cool crew. I don't know a lot of them, but I know some of them as far as like I fished with a couple of them, you know. But I've got my own little cool crew that say that I fish with pretty much on a regular basis. You know, Jeremy, Jay. I've got a bunch of other guys, Virgil. You know, I fish with a lot of different people too. So I've taken Charles out, fished with a lot of the members. Victor, I fished with a bunch of them. So you can call it the Ram Ranchers, right? We got to get a Dodge Ram for that, and it's got to be a Cummins. If you guys smash that like if you get a chance, thanks for watching. So, you know, Monday, first live stream of the week. Hope everybody made it safe through 4th of July. Nobody got blown up, blown their hands off, did any kind of tomfoolery and got some negativity out of it. Hopefully you guys had a great time. Nobody's house is burned down or nothing. It was pretty wild where we're at. We had a great time out at the Castle Air Force Base. They had a good show out there, and it was like a war zone in the neighborhood when I came home. It was like they were doing it bigger than the base. The neighbors were just exploding everywhere, all around. It was, oh goodness, it was awesome. So a subscriber tournament, yeah, that'd be cool too. I'd be down if the subs, any of the local subscribers and members want to get down on a tournament, you know, have a good time, and you know, that'd be fun. Meet up and host like a spot at the lake. You just got to make sure it's all legal. You know, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a guide or anything. So there's a bunch to it. You know, I think you have to go through a bunch of hoops. You got to go through Fish and Game, all that good stuff. But I would be super into making it happen for sure, no matter what. So that'd be cool, especially if we got enough people, huh? Have fun. But that's where I think it would be cool to collab with some of the other channels and get out there and fish. But I'm my own little brand too. because I don't know, some people may not want to associate with the Casper and whatnot, and that's all right. That's their choice. I'm me. I'm who I am. So I do what I do. I fish. I have a good time. Like I said, I do a lot of cool things for the community. I try to help out. I try to teach. I try to help show people how to fish, show spots where I'm fishing, what lures to use, even for like other states and areas. Try to break stuff down for you guys and gals. Have a good time, entertain you, make you laugh at least once a night. I want to see everybody have at least, well, I can't see you, but you know what I mean. On the other side of that screen, everybody should be cracking a grin at least once on my live stream. That's kind of how I want to do it too. I'm a little bit of a comedian. At least I used to be the class clown, right? I don't know. Raise your hand. Class clowns in the house. So do a virtual one so I can join. You want to send pics with the code. Oh yeah, there's ways you could do that. You can host like online ones, like what do you call it, through like Facebook and do stuff like that. They have. I still think you have to. I don't know. I don't think you have to get them sanctioned. You just do them online. I know Facebook groups to do it, so I don't know how it go. I have to look into that. Anyways, tonight, folks, I wanted to talk about. I think, like I said, we're going to close up big bass and summertime fishing, kind of. But I wanted to go over a few couple little things I think I missed. Let you guys know what's up on the channel updates. Keep you guys updated on the giveaway status, when everything's gonna go down. And man, I got to still get Ewing. RC's getting his reel when we meet, but I got to go drop Ewing Kennedy's off. He just hasn't been chilling. I told him, come over and pick it up. I've been lazy. I should go over there and visit him. He lives in a little community, though. I got to get the little gate key code and all that, but we'll drop his reel off. But so, anyways, we got two giveaways going on right now. So one's a Facebook giveaway, one's a YouTube giveaway. And members, your guys' giveaway is coming up soon. So once a month, you guys get a special one. Curtis LeDuc was the one that won the last one. So we're going to go on a fishing trip. All he's got to do is pull the trigger and say when and where, and we're going. Tourney X. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh yeah, well, you're fishing in Maryland, but you guys almost still in spawn over there. It was crazy when like to watch how different everything is. Where we're over here spawn fishing, and everybody in Maryland and over there still frozen, and it's like winter wonderland. And then when we start getting into brutal summer, and it's like hot over here, you guys started posting all these monsters from the East Coast that are spawn fish, big old fat bellies and stuff. So well, it's hot now, huh? So I don't know where the hell the fish are. Probably way out in the middle on shade lines. Yep. They'll be wherever structure is at. Shade lines and structure. So any docks, any vegetation, any grass, any weeds, any shade lines from the mountains, hills, and trees. There you go. But if you can find any brush, structure, cover, trees, stuff like that, of course, you get them over there. If not, then you might want to just try like a top water or a jerk bait and walk the shore or wherever you're at and bomb it out in the middle. Because in the summertime, they'll also pull off super offshore and they'll go deep, or they'll be hitting bait fish, do all kinds of weird stuff. So you have to redo a video. Be right back. No worries. Nice to have you in for now, buddy. I've been fishing laydowns and grass lines. Yeah. There you go. Oh, you know what? I don't know what lake you're talking about, how deep it is, where it's at. So all I could say is fish everywhere. Throw the sink, trash fish, and then once you start catching them, and you build a little pattern, then start repeating it. Try to repeat it, and then start going around the lake and finding stuff that looks similar, or weed lines and shade lines. I don't know if you're fishing from shore, but if you're fishing from shore, one thing we used to do is if you could, right, we'd park and go run down and fish for an hour. And then if it sucked or if things changed, we'd get right up in the car and take off and go to a different spot and run down there. Fish like we were in a boat, but we're on shore. So, how's it going? Keeping it real? Oh, that'll work for super sure. If it's legal in your state, or even just don't take my advice if it's not. But you know what I'm saying? That's a super awesome way for sure to get a monster bass. Just catch a couple live bluegill, take a little bucket with you, couple little live bluegill, throw them on the hook. Don't forget to change the hook or have two poles, your little bluegill pole and then your bass pole. And then let that bluegill go shallow. Don't count. Here's a trick because I know because I've seen it done and I've done it myself. I'm not very good at live bait fishing. I get flustered. I don't like waiting. But I got like my bent homie. He does it all the time. He gets super belligerent. He goes out and he gets some little worms or digs up stuff and gets a little trout hook out and catches a couple bluegills, puts them in his cup. He'll cut the top off a beer and put water in it and then try to keep them in weird stuff, right? And literally too, right? And we'll catch 5+ pound bass on them. Just throw the bluegill on the hook. And the trick is the easiest way to catch them is let the bluegill go from shore about a foot or two out and let the bluegill run out and watch the line just start shooting. Then you just, make sure you adjust your drag and then close the bell and don't stick them. And then you don't want your drag tight. You want it a little loose at first. And then you just stick them, make sure you've hooked them. And then when you're sure you've hooked them, you can slowly tighten the drag to where you feel comfortable with it. But you can catch big fish like that for sure. Nah, I don't. I use them right on the back. So if this was a bluegill, right, you want to hook it like right here in the back. The fin right there, either right here in front of the fin or right behind it. And you only want to go in a little bit. You don't want to go down. You puncture a lung, then the bluegill is screwed. Or not a lung. I'm an idiot. Lung. Bluegills don't have lung. I mean, you puncture through like the spine right there, like because what happens is on the fin, the lung, if it's kind of high up, right? So all the nerve endings, all the stuff goes through right there. And if you put the hook too deep, then you basically you don't you kind of like paralyze it. So the fish, it won't have no action, it'll die. It just like you kill it right away. So make sure you only hook it a little bit. So, but anyways, that's where I would do it. Have I heard anything about Eastman? I've heard everyone keeps telling me to stay away, which must mean it's probably fire right now if you could take the heat. Now, I've seen some posts on Facebook where some guys were just having a brutal time out there. They're not doing very good. And I don't know. Eastman's been like crickets lately, which is usually a sign that the lake's on fire. So if you don't hear people blasting the lake, there's probably a good reason for it, especially if it's a smaller one. So I know that Maloney's is on fire right now for sure. Out of the three, out of McClure, Pedro, and New Maloney's is the much better lake right now, in my opinion. I've been fishing down by the dam, Angels Creek, Coyote Creek, a couple of the islands. It just depends, when I go there. I'll fish all over, but I went at night last time. So New Maloney's is an excellent lake, and it's been pretty good. But I also like going to the Delta, though. That's one of my favorite spots. Go out to the Delta and just smash them. So, all right. I wanted to talk about big fish. How to get them, and some important factors to think of when you're fishing for these big fish, right? And I think it's really important that if you're throwing something like a crankbait, something like this, that you really make sure that you have high quality O-rings, and that you have nice thick hooks that won't bend out easy and that won't straighten out on you. For example, look at this one. This one has caught a nice fish and you know, didn't straighten it all the way, so I got to change this hook out, because I mean, I could straighten it back, but the thing is once a metal starts bending, you change its tensile strength when you. So maybe you can get one bend out of it, one or two, but eventually you just want to replace that hook. So it's important to use good, solid gear. It's also important to make sure that you're using the right, like I said, O-rings, split rings. Make sure your hooks are good on your cranks, because one of the best ways, in my opinion, that I think you need to figure two things out. Are the fish moving or are they stationary? Or are they kind of just on the bottom chill? So if they're settled down, if they're kind of moving around but on the bottom, 2, 3 feet off the bottom type stuff, then one of my go-to lures is a jig. And I personally, if you're fishing at night, you got black and blue and black and red. Now this black and red is usually like a delta color, but they're both killer lures for nighttime. They both have black in them, and this one has a craw color. This one just has a blue color. So I like them both at nighttime. Pick your poison. I'll switch back and forth between the two. And another favorite of mine is a PB&J. This jig has been beat through hell and back. You can see the jig's got a dent in the head. Do you see that? This is one of Bijan's jigs, and it's got a really nice paint job, if you can see on the front. But the back is all beat to hell already, and it's caught me. I've caught like 4 or 5 fish on this. So stoked. We're going to take that back out and catch them. But it's really important that you use the right gear. And I want to talk about a little trick that it doesn't hurt to take and sharpen your hook. So if you're really out big fishing and you want to stick some big girls, it doesn't hurt to take this baby and file it down, sharpen it down, and make sure your hooks have a really sharp point, especially if you've used them for a bit, you caught some fish on them. And even then, a brand new hook really does not have the sharpest point. I mean, they have pretty good points, but you want to make sure that they're sharp, because some of them might come a little dull. So I'd recommend that you look into getting a little whetstone or something that you can sharpen those down with. Again, hardware on your stuff. And I think it really boils down to, again, in my opinion, moving or stationary. Now you can use a lot of different lures. So keeping it real here, he got his double digit on a drop shot right before sun comes up. So bottom bouncing, taking its time, a very realistic, or the way that, like say a robo worm or something like that, flat tail worm looks on a drop shot hook, is like a very realistic minnow approach. And so there's many different ways to get them, but the idea is got to figure out, are they on the bottom? So drop shot, Ned rig, jig, pick your poison. The idea is, figuring them out. Are they on the bottom or are they moving? Or which ones are you getting the better? Or are you getting them moving? Because you'd be catching them both ways. Pay attention, where are the smaller males coming from, or the dinks, because they usually don't like to, in my opinion, hang around the 5+s, because they can get 8. So if you're catching fish this big, a bass this big could easily eat that fish. So I think if you're catching a quality of fish, a pound or two, then great. Maybe try different things. But if you're catching, at least 2 pounds or so. But if you're catching 10 inchers, 12 inchers, 13 incher squeakers, 14 inchers that are super just small and skinny, and you're noticing they're all coming in the same pattern, they're either all coming deep or on the bottom, or you're getting them all reaction, then that's when you may want to pull back, pull off, you know, and fish deeper. Or if you're, you know what I'm saying, try to do something different. So focus in on the quality of fish that you're catching. Where are they coming from? And again, then what you want to do is focus on what are those fish doing. So if out throughout the night you got 60% of your fish reaction and 40% bottom bouncing, but you got a couple 3-pounders and a couple 2-pounders, and of those 80% were bottom bouncing, and then you got one good one on a reaction. Well, then you may want to, even if you're going to catch less fish, you're going to catch more quality. Pay attention to your pattern. That's real important when you're targeting big fish or just numbers. Oh, and you're trying to have a good time. Look at that, slinging them around. So that's, you know, real important, I think, is just figuring out moving or on the bottom, right? What are they going to go after? And then you can kind of hone your things in. Use spinner bait. Those are great lures at nighttime. And look at this. I got the most weird spinner bait you know, look at that. What kind of trailer is that? But believe it or not, it works. I catch fish on them. So go figure. Oh, yeah. The big girl lips are hard to penetrate. Exactly. So sharp hooks is a good idea. That's also why I like having open hooks on a jig. I don't like having a weed guard or anything that can prevent this from sticking them. So, and I give a decent hook set. I don't give a super savage one anymore because I've snapped so many big fish off. Only because, like I said, my jigs are all exclusively without a weed guard. You know, I get them from Bijan, so I use the ones like that for all the mother lode lakes. Tulik, McClure, Don Pedro, New Maloney's, I'm going to throw these. If I'm going to Clear Lake, I'm still probably going to throw these. This or a weed jig, you know, swim jig, something like that. And but for example, like see, or like Salt Springs, or maybe even like lots of Eastman, I would not throw this in. I would rather use a traditional jig with a weed guard if I'm going to throw a jig. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, yeah. I seen that in the video where Mark, you know, got a 9-pounder, and it looked like it came right off basically as soon as you got it out the net. That's exactly how, if you see the dude Angel that I took him fishing at Kelsey, right, for the toy drive, when he got that 9-pounder on the Cinco, same thing. The hook fell right out. And that's usually using like a Cinco or Texas rig or something with a big gaudy worm. With a jig, I haven't had that really happen too many times where the jig falls out. I have had it happen though. Or where what happens is that the jig, literally the hook seems to like get lodged like this in the fishes, like on the side of, you know, boom, right in their mouth, boom, and they're never really hooked. They're just kind of pegged on, and if the hook pops out right enough, then, or if it gets enough play, it'll fall out. I have had that happen quite a few times when I catch a fish and I bring it in and I take the jig and I just go bloop and it comes right out. That does happen a few times. But again, that's why I like that without a weed guard, because that weed guard right there, I think it would have just, I wouldn't have caught that fish, right? But, you know, I think what you got yours, I think, didn't you get on? I think you got yours on a Cinco, but I know Danny got his on, I think it was drop shot. So that's cool. Two finesse style 10-pounders caught in the last like week, basically, almost, or almost 10-pounders. Now my 10-pounder last year came off the jig right around this time of year. It was literally like a couple days from now, I think. How's it going, Mr. Charles Chop? We got Jay Carr in the house. Weightless, yeah, that's what I thought. It looked like maybe weightless Cinco. Yeah, probably flipping the docks with it and then letting it just slow fall along the sides of the docks, and them fish will be down there. And if you're using a lure that falls too fast, not really going to have time to look at it or even go for it. But with that weightless Cinco is killer alongside of docks, like alongside of things. One of my favorite things to work. And another trick that can work like it just depends on their activity level, is a jerk bait along the side of the docks. A lot of guys don't try that. So at New Maloney's. Oh, okay. Nice. New Maloney's has got some great fish for sure. Were you fishing like the rocks and stuff like that? Or the marina has got a lot of big fish inside that marina area where you launch and you head the other way around and you go down by the marina. Otherwise, I like to go to a couple of islands. There's a couple of creeks that I like. If you run upriver all the way to where the water comes in on the left, there's a monster brush pile. There's a couple of giant drop offs and flats. There's some really nice stuff upriver on the left that's worth covering. So New Maloney's has got some good water that I like fishing there. So I like that lake. It's a good lake. The logs, they were against the bank. Oh, you talking about where somewhere where the trees are starting to show? Oh yeah, we get them in there all the time with jigs and with like stuff like a Texas rig, about like a big tree or log that was just laying up against the shore. But in certain spots right there, as the lake level gets low, the tops of the trees start to show. And it's pretty wicked because some of them are 40, 50 feet tall almost, or some really tall trees, right? And when the water drops, you can see them. They're just super long, tall trees. And it's crazy, you know? And then, so it just depends. Most of them are in, like, I'd say the 18 to 25. There's some really tall ones out across from Glory Hole. New Maloney's, there's an island. If you shoot straight across from Glory Hole, not to the dam, but the opposite shoreline, like you're going into Angels Creek, right out in the middle out there, there's a big, big island. There's one that's just trees, like just like this nasty brush, and it's like I don't like that one that much. Right to the left of that one though is a rocky with like granite rock and boulders and stuff, and it's a pretty big pile of them. And then like almost like on four corners, there's like four trees, like almost like it was someone's house a long time ago, you know, and they're right there. And you can, if you know it, like you know, you've got 20 or 30 feet in between the two trees where you can fish and not get snagged at all or hit the branches. And the same thing. And then a big swath in the middle too that you can do the same thing, drop shot down and just kill it. Ned rig, jig fish, whatever. And it just depends on water level. Then as the lake lowers and that the trees start showing and you see the four tips and you know the islands there, you can crankbait across it, you can do so much cool stuff. So that's one of my particular ones I know about hard, like as the water level adjusts. It's a cool little island. There's a lot to that lake. I got to see that lake, unfortunately, let's say, when it was like at its lowest, where it was like a puddle and it was like super dangerous to fish. And it was like barely anywhere you could go. It was so awesome though, like all there was tree, the whole lake was trees. It was like, whoa. Woods Creek was on fire at Pedro. Hey, we got Jose in the house. Man, awesome. I might have to go check that out. I don't know. I got some news as well as like the boat is taking on water and I can't find a crack in it. So I don't think it, I think it could be from the jack plate where the motor mounts to the back of the boat. If when I hit at the delta, pulled it loose a bit like that, but doesn't seem to have any play. I'll have to just do double, triple check it. But so I'm hoping that one of the hoses that connects through the drainage system, because the live will auto fills. So I'm hoping the hose that auto fills from the boat down there, you know, and it takes it up to the I'm hoping that maybe the hose has just come a little loose or something, because I have to hit the bilge every few hours and pump out, 30, 40 gallons or more, 50 gallons of water, and sucks. So it's like, uh-oh. But again, I gotta find a crack in the hole, so that's a good thing. I'm pretty sure it's a hose, maybe a battery or something lit or moved and kind of popped it loose, or I don't know. So there's that. The live well's still not working because I want to tournament fish, and I'm kind of stubborn because I could fix most of the stuff, but I'm super busy, and I just need to man up and pay somebody. But like I said, it's been kind of tough. Like Oliver's only does like he only does it like 2 days a week or something like that, and then I have to call him to see if he's got an opening, but nobody else is really answering. Everybody's pretty slammed. It's like, man, I could just keep taking it fishing, but I'm afraid something bigger could happen. So I got to fix it up and put some effort into that. So it's like, I've been procrastinating because I still want to fish. So I still go on fishing trips. I load it up. I just go fishing and I just hit the bilge every couple hours, pump out some water, and then oil, keep going. That's not a good thing though. So I don't recommend anybody do that. But anyways, I gotta get some work done. So, and I'm in the middle of doing a bunch of heating and air stuff. Obviously, it's summertime, so I'm installing a unit. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna try to make sure I'm always here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You know how it is. If I miss one, then I pop up the next day usually. And then if not, I usually try to make it up on the weekend, or always try to be here so we can have a good conversation, give you guys my best tips and tricks, and cover all kinds of stuff. Now, also, yesterday and today, I'm working on breaking down for you guys. So I'm staring at the whiteboard. So right now, we're going to talk about. Hopefully, you guys are going to like this stuff. I went on for like an hour and burned out all my batteries and stuff, and I got to figure I got to probably write this stuff down and put it in like chapters and do it one video at a time on one subject at a time, because I was getting super excited, really trying to share how I fish and break some things down for you guys and gals in a way that I think would be quick and actually help, and have a lot of detailed information for you guys and gals. And again, I don't say I know it all, but just breaking stuff down like how I fish. And obviously, too, what a lot of other people might say. I don't go and watch other videos and then try to duplicate stuff. So I do really, it's all me. So, anyways, what we've got is I want to be breaking down the mother lode lakes and more for you guys. So I've chosen McClure, Don Pedro, New Melones, Tulic, Los Banos, Salt Springs, Amador, Pardee, Comanche, Eastman, and Hensley to fish. And so, well, I hope you do, man. Oh yeah. Oh well, yeah. I'll have to hit you up, brother, because I don't know. I got to get my boat looked at, but yeah, those are going to be the lakes I plan on breaking down and fishing. But also, I'm doing some whiteboard tips and tricks. So I'm actually taking areas of the lake and I'm drawing them like a map. I'm showing the current. I'm showing islands. I'm showing like any hidden spots that I know. I'm showing where the biggest fish have all been caught in those lakes that I know of by me, my buddies. I'm showing the collective GPS location, so to speak, of multiple 10 pounders, 11s, 12s, and 13 pounders out of both Lake McClure and Lake Don Pedro. I'm also going to be showing my favorite spots on New Melones. And then the other lakes, I'm more going to be exploring because I've been there before, but it's not like I'm pretty versed in those. See, in the other lakes, I use playgrounds all the time. So, like Tulic, Los Banos Creek Reservoir, Salt Springs, I fished all of those. Amador, I fished it. It's a small lake. Pardee, Comanche, Eastman, I know pretty well. Hensley, though, Hensley, Comanche, Pardee, Amador, those are going to be kind of a challenge. And I'm also looking into doing some high Sierra stuff, like Lake Almanor, Collins Flat Reservoir, like stuff that Drive, like Trinity Lake, stuff like that, Bullard's Bar. But I want to get up in the Pacific, or not Pacific, in the Sierra Nevadas and fish in the high mountain lakes up there for some big smallmouth. So I want to see if we can get into some crazy stuff like that. So there's going to be a change in venue, I think, in the next month or two. Going to get, I got to make sure I can take the boat in most of the lakes. I'm going to research them, make sure before I drive all the way out there, what the costs are, what everything is involved. Make sure that I can take my boat in the first place, but I'm going to hit these high Sierra lakes, I think, really hard this year for some summertime smallmouth. I'm going to go out there with drop shots, Ned rigs, flukes. I know I'm probably going to have to fish finesse some Rapalas, some jerk baits, maybe some blade baits or something. It just depends. I'm pretty interested in seeing how the smallmouth compared to the largemouth and the spotted bass, like how tough are they going to be to fish and figure out. So I want to go where there's going to be just nothing but either trout or smallmouth. And if they're largemouth, they're just maybe not known for being a largemouth lake. They may have a lot, but I want to hit like smallmouth lakes up. So there's going to be a lot of new stuff coming with the channel. But the next few weeks, I'm going to be heavily trying to break down as much information for the motherlode lakes for you guys and gals, for the members, for the local people. Then what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to get into some smallmouth stuff. I'm going to get into some different type of fishing. So hopefully I can connect with some of the fishermen in different areas, grow the channel like that, show more versatility, that I'm not just a motherlode fisherman or a delta fisherman, because I love the delta too. But I want to get out and play around at a lot of these other lakes. And then also try some of my tactics that I don't think maybe smallmouth do much. Get up shallow and maybe long line it with some smaller pound test and a spinning rod or something, or a high-end bait caster that it can bomb a mile, and throw crankbaits and other things and do it my way and still figure out how to pull them out. So I'm interested in the challenge. That's going to be coming up. But like I said, in the meantime, before I do that, because those trips are going to take a lot of time, money, the editing, the stuff, be able to do 1 or 2 a month. Breaking down all of the local lakes, bass fishing lakes in this area. Like I said, going as far south as we're going to do Eastman and Hensley, and then working our way up. We're going to cover every basically major lake up until Comanche and Amador, Pardee, stuff like that. I'm not going to do Woodward, Turlock Reservoir, Modesto Reservoir, stuff like that. I'm going to skip over those only because a lot of them, they were closed to locals only. I don't even know if they're even fully open, and even if they are, I'm honestly going to prefer to just not mess with those because again, those are known as tough lakes. I'll go play with those when I'm really having a dry spell and I want to go challenge myself, or just to go see how it's going to do maybe. But right now I've got some plans. I've got some actual goals for the channel and for the growth. And they're going to involve, like I said, some smallmouth fishing. I've got to get the boat fixed. So I'm going to get back into doing some tournament trails. Only so much at a time too. I got a family, I got a job, I got all this stuff I'm trying to balance. But the idea is going to be maybe a little bit less content, and like how I was going to Kelsey all the time, or if I shoot here or there, I'm just going to put out quality videos and try to use some better editing, better equipment, right? And break down the lakes like McClure, Pedro, New Melones, all this stuff, I think much better, so that you guys and gals who fish these lakes can do much better. And then also I want to try to make it explainable for people in other states and areas, so they can see, okay, I can tie that into, I can understand how that would tie in at my lake. And then in their lake, where somewhere I may never been, they can take some of the tips or tricks and hopefully up fishing game a little bit, because I just want to share the love of fishing, so, and grow the channel. So like I said, right now I'm focusing on doing Lake McClure, and I'm breaking down parts of Piney, Barrett's, and Arnold Bay, and the main lake right there. I'm kind of zoomed in on that, all that good stuff. I'm showing where a couple, um, and then I'm going to take you around to Horseshoe Bend, break that area down, show you another spot where double digit was caught, and break down a certain. I'm going to break down that lake and probably do it in 2 or 3 different videos and explain things probably as thorough as I can. I make the video just about that section of the lake and all times of the year and different water levels, what to expect. When the lake is full, where do I go and what do I do in these areas? When the lake is low, what do I go? Where do I, what do I look for? So we're going to talk about some of the lake's hidden features, the train bridge, the pillars, the islands, the stuff that just is really old time, old school from before it was a lake. There's a lot down there when the lake gets really low. There's a lot of new stuff that a lot of people don't know about. So if you fish the lake since the last drought, you remember most of this stuff. We know where all of this stuff's at, or at least we have a good idea where to go look for it, right? So Lake McClure's got some awesome stuff. We're going to break that down for you guys and gals. Then what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to skip over to a couple different lakes, break them down, especially the 3 that I know like by heart or very well. So we're going to break those lakes down for you guys, different seasons, kind of different lures, what shorelines I like, when, why, where I go, and just a lot of just completely open the floodgates of true, actual information and less BS, right? And just, this is what it is for me. Doesn't mean it is what it is for everyone. Fishes differently. And again, I'm not a pro. I'm not even a guide. I'm nothing like that, right? I'm just this guy I've been fishing 30 years. I fish. I post my videos on the internet, and I have a good time, right? So I got a family, I got a job, I got a life. I'm not, like I said, a pro, but I do have fun fishing, and I'm trying to hopefully build a good fishing community here, a cool brand, and also a good, the main thing is the community, helping everybody. Try to teach them to get better at fishing, at least from a beginner to a moderate level. And as I get better, you guys can watch and see as I'm picking up and learning new stuff. Like, for example, see, the channel is only, like I said, just about 2 years old now almost. But the float and fly is something I never did before. LV 500 I've used, but nothing like I have in the recent past 2 years. The jerkbait was never a lure I was super proficient in. The last 2 years, I've really, because of Kelsey, I've been able to build confidence in lures and then take them to lakes and really kill it. I've always been a crankbait guy, spinnerbait guy. The jig has grown on me the last 2 years. You can actually, if you watch the videos from the beginning, so big shout out to some of the very beginning subscribers like Big Vic, Victor Juarez, a bunch of the guys. A lot of you guys, hell if I know. A lot of you guys, though, have been with me for a long time, guys and gals. And so some of you guys may have noticed that it was mostly drop shot, mostly Ned rig, mostly Texas rig, mostly weird stuff, right, that I fished with the first 6 months of the channel's existence. And then it slowly morphed and got into more top water. Well, and then I did top water, whopper ploppers, A-rigs. Then I got into all kinds of stuff. Started seeing me throw spinner baits again, jerk baits, crank baits, all kinds of crazy stuff. So there's a lot of lures that I've really gotten a lot better with the last 2 years. So I'm growing. So, again, I don't act like a know-it-all. So it's cool to be able to share everything with the fishing community. Now, I got a really cool tip or trick. I don't know if you guys know. I didn't know this, and I was watching the old bass fishing video from the 80s. I don't know if it matters on fluoro. Maybe, maybe not, but I know it does on mono. And so if you're throwing top water where you need mono for it to float, or you're throwing a crankbait or something and you want mono to give yourself a little bit of give on your hook sets and stuff like that, then I didn't know, but you can actually take a green marker and mark your line up in intervals all the way across. You mark it and you give little gaps, and it makes your line literally invisible. It's like, what the heck? I didn't know that. That's a cool little trick. So shout out to, I think it's Doug Hannon, like a 1986 bass video I was bored watching the other day, and earlier I finished it, and I didn't know. I was like, well, I'll be darned. So, anyways, maybe you guys did. So, I thought that was a cool one right there. Believe it or not, you can look that up. They actually did a test to see like what lines were most invisible or visible, and they found like the most invisible line was one that had polka dots, basically, or it was not polka dots. It was like periodically marked green. So anyway, the full green wasn't even. It's crazy. So. I don't know what it does. So, anyways, how was your night at Maloney's? Had a good time. Had a good time. We went out there, Tim and I, and we got some numbers. We caught maybe 15, 20 fish, something like that. We had nothing over like 3 pounds, 2.5, 2 3/4, just a bunch of twos, 2.5 pounders. And we just didn't want to run it the night. Um, and so just lazy nighttime fishing. I usually pick an area of the lake and I just dedicate myself to it and fish for a long time, and then we go back home. And then also we only stayed, I think that night we left by like 11 or midnight or something like that. We were only time. So New Maloney's was awesome. Made a nav light system for your kayak. So nice. Yeah, be careful, brother, out at night, in a kayak. Make sure you have your life jacket on and someone knows you're out fishing and all that. What's a good spot to go to on Maloney's with kayak? With a kayak, you got to watch out for the big bass boats. So what I would recommend is if you launch where the launch is at and just fish in the marina area, all of that. And then if you go from there, I don't know if it's Black Creek, but if there's a creek arm you can shoot up into that's relatively quick and easy to get to, and you shouldn't have too many boaters that should annoy you. The other thing you can do is launch on the other side of Glory Hole, on the opposite side, and shoot into Angels Creek. And a lot of bass fishermen will fish these areas, but they'll be pretty respectful of you. They'll see you, you should see them. But the main thing is their wake won't be as bad as the big ski boats. So I recommend staying off of the main lake points, the dam. I recommend staying away from the shallow south end. I recommend staying away from trying to make a run like upriver. I'd recommend the immediate 2 creeks that are right off of the launch of Glory Hole. That's where I would recommend the Glory Hole launch. You got the nice little store up there you can stop at and get refreshments and things if you need. So I don't know. That's my favorite way to launch in New Maloney's. Everybody I know goes to Tuttletown, but because that's the quickest, fastest way. It's like Tuttletown, boom. And then from Tuttletown, you can shoot right around the corner and right up to the river, or you can go straight across to the dam, right around to the right. It's a pretty good launch. But Glory Hole has beer, and ice and food. So I'm always like, oh, let's go to Glory Hole. But it's not even open half the time I get there. It's so funny. I get all excited to go to get munchies or something, and then we gotta like stop and it's like, ah, dang it. So I don't know. Hours, I don't know if they've changed basically from back in the day, but it seems like I remember places used to be open at like 5 in the morning for fishermen. But I don't know. Yo, what it do be, Marco Houston? How you doing? Party, lots of smallmouth. Yep. You and I at Trinity and Shasta for sure. I'll definitely go up there. If you can make it down to Trinity and then Shasta, oh yeah. I'd like to go to Trinity over Shasta. And then Pardee, I don't know. I don't want to get anyone in trouble. Hold on. Oh man, I'm gonna do it. He's probably gonna get mad at me, but I don't think he will. I'm not gonna let nobody see who he is. So we're gonna keep his. You guys might know just by seeing his mug. Hold on. All right, let's cover that up just like that. You guys see that? That's a smallmouth. That's a smallmouth from Pardee. So 14 or not 14, what was it? 8 pound, 8 pound and some change or something like that. 8 pound smallmouth from Pardee. So I'm like, I'm thinking I want to go hit Pardee up. I got photo proof, dude. Send me like this guy right here. I got two homies that I don't want to give their names up or their spots up, but they're legitly cool as heck, and they'll message me when they're catching 4 and 5 pounders at like a lake, and they'll turn me on to it. I just usually don't go and blow it up because then everybody, if I go do a YouTube video on it, everybody will come and block and I'll blow the spot up. And I'm not even a big YouTuber, but the point is a lot of these lakes these guys send me pictures from are smaller lakes, lakes like Pardee, Amador, stuff like that, or Salt Springs or Success. I got guys sending me pictures of 8 pounders out of Success and 10 pounders out of Success. And let's just say Pardee and Amador, so just monsters out of some of these lakes, right? And they'll be telling me when it's on fire, and they'll shut down. These lakes are known for being tough. So what happens is guys avoid them. They don't fish there a lot. They're known as trout lakes. Most of these trout lakes are actually epic bass fisheries. You just have to get them at the right time when you got to crack the code because there's a lot of big bass in these lakes. I'm telling you. So if it's a trout lake, best bet is to bass fish it. I'm telling you right now, Rancho Seco is a trout lake, and everyone used to go there to trout fish back when I was a kid. And it was all known as the old time. They all went to catch trout. They planted monster trout. I didn't know they had 17 pound or 4 or whatever Matt Allen caught in there, 14, 15 pound, whatever it was. Man, if I had known they had bass that big in there, I would have been bass fishing the whole time. So Lake Yosemite has some nice bass in it, but they're hard to catch. See, these fisheries that are known as being skunk lakes and being crappy fisheries, they're actually probably some of the best fisheries. Tell you right now. Unless they get pounded into oblivion and then, they're obviously, not the greatest, but they can kick big ones out. Examples of that right now would be Comanche, Eastman, super low, super horrible conditions, can be really brutally tough, yet a miracle can put out monster fish here and there. So McClure is kind of a weird one. Your PB's from Seco, Rancho Seco. I fished it as a kid one time, living in when I lived in Sac. But yeah, I want to go back and fish it. I didn't even know that place had bass. And my uncle had us trout fishing out there, and I didn't even get a trout. I've had one rip my pole into the lake, and when I got there, it was already off and gone. So it was all sad. But hey, I would love to get back. So trout plants stop in March. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't remember when it was, but I know that that place has got some good bass. Rancho Seco's got some monsters. But that's the thing is I want to do like a tour. So I want to make it like a big deal where what I do is go to a new lake each time I go fishing now. I kind of want to, so what I want to do, so kind of coming everything full circle here. What I want to do is tie these whiteboard tips and tricks and these videos with you guys and gals to leave you something while I'm working on putting together like this epic road trip. Where what I'm going to do is well, it's not going to be one road trip, but one trip here I'm going to go to Collins Flat, and hopefully it doesn't suck, because if it does, I'll go twice or 2 or 3 times till it doesn't. Then I'll go to Almanor, and after Almanor, then maybe Trinity. Then after Trinity, maybe, I want to go to the most hole in the wall, not much known, medium to small, or medium to even large, but not much known Sierra, High Sierra lakes. They have smallmouth, they may have largemouth, but I want lakes that are specifically stocked full of smallmouth, because that's what I'm intending to target. So I'm going to take smaller lures, jerk baits. I'm going to be taking the jig still, be taking Ned rig, drop shots, all kinds of stuff. My spinning gear will definitely be in high demand. I'll probably bring my highest end bait caster or two, and my little cranking bait caster rod. I'll bring that with some light line, switch over to some light line. I'll use Rapalas and stuff like that to go after them if I'm trying to go after. These are just things that I know. I'm not a big smallmouth fish, so it's going to be interesting to get out there and try to just figure out what works and adjust and change. So I don't watch smallmouth videos. I don't know much about them other than I catch them sometimes fishing for just bass in general when I'm at the motherlode lakes. But I want to actually go target them. So I think that's going to be cool. We're going to focus on doing that. So that's like what I said, what I'm going to do is break down the mother loads for you guys. So there'll be McClure broken down, McClure Point, Temperance, Cotton, Barrett's, lay it all out for you guys. Piney, Arnold Bay, Horseshoe, Bagby, the narrows, the kind of semi-narrows between Arnold and Horseshoe, break everything down, high level, low level, make it maybe 3 to 5 videos all about McClure, spread them out, right? I'm going to pre-record them. Then what I'll do is I'll release, and then we're going to do Don Pedro, New Maloney, same thing. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to be out there fishing those lakes the next week, right? So I'm going to be fishing McClure, Pedro, and New Maloney's. That way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and try and have fun and fish, and try to tie my tips and tricks in, right? So that when I make my video and I'm making it about McClure, you'll actually see me at the spots that I'm talking about, pointing out stuff like, look, when the lake's high, see? Or when the lake's low, look at this. And then, so as that lake level changes, and I'll also show you, or kind of give you guys my little tips and tricks about how to like follow structure on the shoreline down. And then I can use and point to examples to see, well, see how the shoreline looks like this way up there, and it looks like that here, but look right next to it, now it's completely different. Anyways, I'm going to be out there on the main lakes, all up in the creeks and the rivers of those 3 lakes, basically. And we're going to break them down as best as I can for you guys and gals, give you all the tips and tricks, because we're going to leave those lakes alone for a little while. Because after we do that, like I said, then I'm going to be trying to put in some really, truly good production time on hitting up smallmouth lakes, some different stuff. And I also want to get out on a deep sea fishing trip. So we're going to be doing some crazy different stuff here. So what do you just say? Pay attention, but stay tuned is what I meant to say. Is like keep your notification bell checks, because I think we're going to have some cool stuff coming that I think you guys and gals will really enjoy, hopefully. So exactly, all that kinds of stuff, Marco. You got it. That's the idea. That's the name of the game. Smash that like button if you guys could. Thanks for watching Common Sense Fishing. So really appreciate everybody. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we do these live streams. We talk about all kinds of cool stuff. Tonight, really talking about, was first covering how to get big bass, different kind of lures, really patterning them, figuring out, are they on the bottom, are they reaction, are they moving. We're talking about breaking down the mother lode lakes, and my really strong desire to want to branch out, and I want to grow a little bit. So I want to get into a couple of different lakes. Any suggestions, feel free to hit them in the comments. I'll actually write the lakes down. I'm going to be Google mapping stuff, researching stuff, making sure so that I don't drive up there with my boat, that I don't get in. So I got to make sure that I can take my boat in there, because I do have the old 2-stroke. However, so it counts as a high efficient, counts as a 4-stroke. It's got the little sticker. It's made after, it's 2007 actually, the motor and boat. It's all 2007. So it's high efficient. So I should be able to take it to any lake you can take a four-stroke in. But we just gotta do some research. This is gonna take a little bit of time, but this year, during this summer and this fall, we will be bringing to you guys a lot of smallmouth, beautiful scenery. Hopefully, we'll see some bears or maybe a mountain lion or some eagles and cool stuff. Get some nice nature shots. There's going to be long drives, so I expect I'm probably going to be camping. Each trip I go, I'll probably drive up the day before, fish it a little bit so I have an idea what's going on, and then pull out, camp for the night, relax, get some nice, cool shoot, photo shoot, catch the coffee getting made, the boat getting launched, and the morning mist coming off the lake type of cool stuff. I'm hoping to have a lot of fun here in the next couple months playing around with some different ideas. Like I said, smallmouth, some high Sierra fishing, maybe even some trout fishing added onto the channel as a bonus. Getting out there, pinching the barbs down and going with my little MEPs and spinners and things and going after some brook trout, rainbow trout out there. Heck, if I'm having fun, having a good time, got a bunch of bass, got all the footage I need, them there a few hours, why not pull out the trout rod and see if we can get some other species and attract some other anglers to the channel too, because I'm really interested in all fishing. Like I said, kind of like Roland Martin. He was like one of the first, if I remember, bass pros back when Bill Dance and all them were still right. At first, he moved to Florida and started ocean, and instantly like started ocean, going from marlins, and for good for him, he was doing what he wanted, and all the bass holes, right? We got all mad at him. You can't, now you're marlin fishing. It's not the same thing. Fishing's fishing. That's what I want to have a nice fishing channel here where it's all about all kinds of fishing. And some of you guys may tune out. Like, hopefully, I don't lose subscribers and, members and stuff. But it is what it is. But the idea would be a video here and there wouldn't hurt. Let's say for some surf fishing, how to crab, all that cool stuff. So I'm interested in doing that. That's what I'm hoping to bring to the channel here in the next year. So I wanted to bring you guys and gals some updates as well. So I'm excited. So smash that like button if you guys and gals get a chance. And also, the best way you can support the channel, we do have memberships available. Once a month, we do giveaways. So we have a lot of cool stuff. We have members-only videos. All my videos come out to them early. They get exclusive content. And then when we do have merch available, you guys are going to get mad deals on it. So appreciate all the members and all the subscribers and viewers in general. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it. So just want to make sure Now, usually what we do here is we talk about specific tips or tricks. We cover specific things, but I had a lot I wanted to talk about tonight that we're going to be doing some changes. And I know I've brought this up before, like I'm looking really into getting better audio. I do have a mic already, but I got to get a stand, but I'm thinking about buying like a better quality mic, all that good stuff. We're going to get a better video recorder so we can, put that video straight through the video and go with the audio straight through the audio. We're going to go to a mixing program that we're going to use. So I have a streaming program that I use, and I'm figuring out how to play with it. And I've done a couple streams already with it. So you guys didn't seem to mind. So hopefully, the audio help and video help will help the channel grow and your guys' comfort in listening and watching too, so it's not probably as grateful on your ears, when the audio is going to be a little better. So just wanted to let you guys know, I'm harping on it, but I'm super stoked to say that we are going to do those changes and bring some cool stuff to you guys. But yeah, earlier we were talking about power fishing, and I want to kind of get back into that a little bit. But like I said, I was kind of going in some circles here. But usually what we do with these live streams is I cover my topics, and then I leave the floor open. We chat. open. I love reading the comments and engaging with you guys and gals. So again, thanks for watching. Smash that like, subscribe if you're new here. But yeah, anybody got anything they want to talk? We're having the members giveaway is I think going to be like probably next week. We're going to be doing. You're in on both the two giveaways, so I'll let you know, man. And when we're gonna do the drawing, should probably be in a week or two. I like to leave them open for a while. That way they generate as much attention as possible. Hopefully, people can share it. Share it with your friends. Share it on your Facebook pages or whatever. Let people know, hey, there's a cool guy. Giving stuff out on YouTube, does tips and tricks, and plus, a lot of the time, this isn't really the SpongeBob SquarePants channel. This is where we have a lot of fun. Usually I might be cracking some beers, cracking jokes. So there's a lot of, this the Common Sense Fishing family that we have here is a pretty diverse group of fun guys and gals. The thing that binds us and brings us together is fishing and the love of fishing. So, pretty cool channel here. I want to say thank you to everybody. Now, like I was saying, Jay Carr, we're going to have those two giveaways should be closing. And I want to see him win. I like seeing people here too from other countries as long as they're engaging. They're taking and posting video. I like seeing our eating channels in India and Asia and stuff like that. It's pretty cool to see other cultures. So as long as it's not spammy, like I said, we got a Facebook page, Bass Fishing Lovers. That's where we're having our other giveaway. And what I was going to say is we have some spammers that come on and they try to sell shirts, they try to sell knives, they try to sell all kinds of crap. And it's like, oh man, look at dude, if you guys had just came on and interacted with the community and was super cool and you waited a month or a week or two and then you told people like, hey, by the way, like I do t-shirts or I do this and you're legit and you're not a scammer and crap. Like if you really wanted to build a business, that's how you would do it, right? You would organically grow it through good roots and good connections, not just like getting on a Facebook page and then plastering like this generic shirt of you want to buy here, click here, like what the hell? Facebook has gone off its rocker. There's just too many weirdos on it now, but that's the internet, I guess. we're everywhere, all of us weirdos. Because I'm in the category too, I guess. I'm a troll too every once in a while, commenting on something. How you doing? Do you have beer? No. Ooh, I might have a beer delivery. Nope, and I don't have sushi either. Oh, hint, hint. No, no beer, no sushi. Oh, goodness. All right, guys and gals, smash that like button if you get a chance. But yeah, power fishing, night fishing, that's how you're going to get your big girls. I can't say it enough. Remember to break things down in parallels and like fish along things. So never fish at things, if that makes sense. So when you see this nice dock that you think, ooh, fish the edges of it. And like, so when you're coming up to this dock, don't just cast at it. Cast to the edge and work it all the way. Cast to this edge and then work it all the way. And then, heck, pull sideways like this and cast and work it this way. And then if you can skip under it, do that too, right? It depends on what you've got access to, but some you can skip under, some you can't. That doesn't mean you just go driving right past it, And then the same thing with shoreline. When you got big boulders and rocks and stuff, look for key things like structure that these fish will hold on. Because big fish are going to be unique in the sense that they're going to want the best of the best. They're usually not on what we like to refer as plainsburg, right? Like shitty old lame plain shore. They're usually up checking out the best prime territory, let's just say. Sure, buddy. You want to do a let's teach a child how to fish video? You supply a small spinning combo and line it up with like 8 pound test. And then I will take you and the kid out to like, if you want to do something like that. Again, I really want to get into fishing these other lakes, but I'd be willing to take him out to McClure, Pedro, or Maloney's, and we can go drop shot and Ed rig and show the kid the basics of how to tie a knot, how the bell operates, to how to reel, how to set the drag, how to watch out for the hook, how to respect, how just the simple angles and like math of, and it sounds like I'm getting complicated, not really. A kid will understand. You put the pole in their hand and you put the no hook and you let the line and then you just tie a weight on and you let them hold it and swing and play with it and see how they could accidentally hit themselves or other objects with the weight. And you see, you could hook yourself, you could hook other people. So you got to teach them how to properly hold the rod and then how to hold it when walking, how to store the hook and everything in the rod. Because you don't want to you don't want your hook to go into your eye guides because then it'll scratch them or pop them out. So one thing you can do is actually, if you have a spot right here, right? You usually have a spot on your rod to put your hook. But if you don't, you can store the hook right here in this piece, not in the eye, but in the gap that holds the eye. And only the bigger eyes on a bait caster will have them. On a spinning rod, almost all of them will have them, right? So you can store your hook, right? So showing the kids the basics, I think, is super important to getting them comfortable around it, and then not being all scared like they're going to hook everything. Just teach them how to hold it right. If you're walking, so they don't hold the pole low and break their pole in half, hold their rod high. So, oh yeah, 6 more days, buddy. Then it's the 11th. I've got on the 10th. Well, on the 10th, I'm fishing with Mark Nav at Kelsey, and then I've got you down the 15th through the 18th, right, RC? That's me and you should be fishing the 15th through the 18th. If it changes, let me know. I'll adjust it because I'm still open. And then on the 14th, I'm going to a Niner game, so I'm not doing nothing August 14th. That's August though, not July. But yeah, let me know. I'm super open to shooting a video, doing something together. Teach a kid how to fish, teach anybody how to fish. I'm okay with having fun and just doing something like that. And then the channels aspect on my side, where I really like to go, we can do a joint venture, or I could just help you shoot a video and you can release it on your channel, or we can share it. You release it on yours, and I release a different version on mine. So there's a couple ways to do it. And then, like I really want to focus on getting into the smallmouth lakes, into the Sierra Nevada, and also doing some different stuff. That's a good idea, teaching a kid how to fish. I'm always open to collaborating with other YouTubers, smaller or bigger than me. That's not the plan or the problem. I don't care. It's not that I want to use another YouTuber for their clout. Just it's cool to have another person to fish with, especially two different ideas, two different fishermen. You guys can bounce ideas off of each other. It's fun fishing with a partner. I fish solo too all the time. Don't get me wrong. That's also very, it's very rewarding to fish by yourself as well. So it just really depends. But I'm super open to doing all kinds of stuff. So I'd like to reach out, eventually get some of the other YouTubers in the area to hopefully kind of band together. I think that's how you would have an increased viewership base by having like almost cross-platforming. And it's not like, in my opinion, it's not a competition. And if that's how other people see it, then I'm not worried. Like, I just do me. So either way, it's gonna or it's gonna not by my own willpower, work and hard work and dedication, but it's always cool to have other people the ride, right? But I'm gonna do my best to provide good entertainment, good tips and tricks, good and solid information, good video, good audio, and just try to have fun, and not be like super about it. Have a good time, especially on these live streams. You know how we do, folks. So, how you doing? Uh, all right. Yeah, IB and SF for a few. How's Wednesday? Hold on, let me read everybody's comments, folks. Sorry. How's Wednesday looking? Wednesday might be all bad. Well, if Wednesday night might be good, depending on if I need to work a Thursday morning early. So, Charles, I can probably fish Wednesday night. I have some work Wednesday, right? But it depends on my install because if my install is tomorrow, which is Tuesday, due to Wednesday already filling up with service calls, my install might turn into Thursday. And if that's the case, then I probably shouldn't fish Wednesday night. So it really all depends. I'm waiting. I thought the dang store was going to be open, but they're actually closed on Monday. So the place that I get my air conditioners from, I do heating and air. For those of you who may not have known, so I'm replacing somebody's air conditioner, and they know there's no tentative date because right now with all the craziness going on in the world, there's a shortage of everything, and air conditioners is one of them. So pray your air conditioner doesn't fatally go out and it can't be fixed because right now they're sometimes up to weeks for a wait for certain ones. So it's pretty crazy. So I'm kind of winging it and we'll see how it goes. All right. So we just make vids to document the year. Heck yeah. Yeah, that's all fun too to make vids to document, just to also have it for your family and friends and your loved ones and yourself to go back and watch. And if God forbid anything were to ever happen to anybody, it's kind of cool to be able to go back and watch stuff like you never could before. But in a way that may hurt you from letting go, I guess, but not I was able to, I guess, but when I've lost people I've loved and I have video of them. I don't go watch it all the time, but it does help to watch it. So, a lot of cool reasons I think to document your life in a manner like this, whether you go viral or not. Um, it just depends. So, especially if you have artistic. See, you seem pretty artistic. RC Creative's got the creative side to him, right? So he knows how to take a shot, knows how to frame it, contrast, lighting. He looks like he knows what he's doing, so to speak, right? So, and I'm no pleb either with taking photos and just understanding. To me, I think a lot of life's common sense. I think if you apply common sense to any trade in life, you can get far enough. Like you can bullshit your way to like not mastery, but like where you're proficient. Because there's so many dumb, like just not even dumb, just like people that don't care about their job, right? So they're not into it. They don't know. They're not trained, whatever have you. And just like if you honestly just applied, if you work hard and you applied common sense, I think most people could be halfway decent in anything they tried. Now, becoming a master of something really takes a lot of time, hard work, and practice. And then some instances, too, you really need to have an affinity towards whatever it is you're trying to master. For example, if you're 7.5 feet tall and you're trying to master basketball, you might have a chance. If you're like 4.5 feet tall and you're trying to master it, you might want to see if there's other things that are good for you. Just like if you have a super awesome voice, you might have a chance of mastering singing and music, even in general. But, we each and every one of us have our own strengths and weaknesses. And I think that we could all be masters at something if we tried hard enough. So that's why I like fishing. I love sharing the information because I think that if people care enough, and even then, I'm not this super guru, but if there's something I can tell you or help you or point you to, then I'm super happy to share it because fishing is like to me like the ultimate drug. It's the ultimate hobby, pastime. It's the ultimate like thing to do besides be with my family and friends and loved ones, and even then you can hang out with them fishing too. But it's like fishing is, and then also life balance, because you don't want to get skin cancer. You don't want to be out, don't want to ruin your marriage and your family, not spend enough time with your wife and kids if you're fishing all day too, right? So there's a balance to everything in life. But I'm talking like the soul, like what it does for you. Fishing releases so much stress, the weight off of your shoulders. You're fishing, you're just chilling, I think that's why so many people like it. It's such a good release and such a good getaway. Catching the fish is just an added bonus to fishing if you really like fishing, So that's my take on it. I don't know. What do you guys and gals think? Leave a comment and let me know. So I like to chat with you guys and gals with these live streams. I'm very interactive. I try to plan these out to the best of my ability. I'm working on a lot of whiteboard tips and tricks videos to leave you guys with while I'm hopefully going to be out doing a lot of smallmouth fishing this summer, getting up into the sticks. I want to go find myself. I want to go fish off in the woods, and I want to go camping this summer. I want to go have fun. I want to do stuff that I really want to go do instead of being stuck in this habitual series of fishing the Mother Lode Lakes or the Delta. I want to break out of that shell, so to speak. I love those places. Love you. Any munchies?
I bought cookies, but they don't go good with beer.
They go good with milk after beer. How you do? Love you. What's wrong? Tired? Yeah, I just want to go fishing, and it's only Monday, right? Live vicariously through me, brother. I'm going to go one of these days. I don't know when I'm going next, but I know I released a video this morning, night fishing one. She came through clutch. She did. How am I doing? I'm doing good. Thank you guys for watching, guys and gals, tonight. I hope everybody had a good 4th of July. Hope it was safe. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. Thanks for tuning in. So we've been talking a lot of different stuff about some changes to the channel, things I want to do, places I want to be fishing, and we talked a little bit about also some big fishing, how to catch big fish, some crankbait gear tips and tricks, some jig stuff, but mainly just really wanted to bring you guys up to date with what I've got planned. I think for the next month here or two is when I do have time in between these HVAC trips here when I'm doing HVAC work. I'm going to plan a camping trip, and I'm going to be hitting High Sierra Lakes up. So super excited. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the content. I think you will. I'm going to be focused in on trying to get some good shots, good forest vibe, good just make you feel like you're up there with me, and not be wasting too much time, right? So I'm want to time my shots, like show the charcoal getting lit, the food getting flipped, the meat getting cut, but not like an hour long, maybe 15 seconds altogether, right? That's the barbecue, or the bacon in the morning and the coffee, and then, get out on the lake and the water, the mist coming off the lake, the first fish, I want to try to get, some top water blowups or something. I'm just excited. I want to get out there and see if I can put myself into a challenge, a new lake, a new place, and new species too. I don't specifically target smallmouth, so I'm very interested. It's probably going to be a learning curve for me, so come along and enjoy. We're gonna have a good one. That's how we do it. I'm telling everybody too, because I think telling also reinforces it. I got to really make myself do this because I own a heating and air conditioning business. So in the middle of summer, I'm super busy fixing air conditioners, but I have plenty of time. Being that it's just little old me, I can take a day or two off easy whenever I want. So I'm going to be setting up some trips to these very high up there lakes. Let's just say, my English is failing me right now. But I got to get the boat worked on. I got to get the boat fixed. So I don't know. I think I want to do the boat thing before I do the long haul trips. I want to get the trailer looked at, tires looked at, bearings. I want the whole 9 yard just looked over and just assured that it's going to be safe and good. And anything that needs to be done now before I go on these embark on these long haul treks, especially in the summer, right? So super important safety, plan it out. But in the meantime, I'll be dinking around in the lakes here. But mark my words, even if I have to take my boat, busted as it is, I will go out there and do at least a few trips to these smallmouth lakes. It is an extreme goal of mine this summer. And also, I really would like to go up and meet Terrible at Fishing. Meet him up at Shasta or at Trinity, and go give his channel a little boost. So if you guys don't know who he is, he's an older gentleman, fishes out of Oregon. His name's Michael, and Terrible at Fishing is his channel. Cool dude. So I support him, and hopefully I can get up there to like Trinity or Shasta sometime this summer and go wreck them before the weather turns. So get a 14-foot John all electric, deck it out. Yeah, that would be super cool. It would be easy to tow, lightweight, would be less gas mileage. I can get into the lakes that I can't get into with the big motor. I know a lake right now where they're catching 8 to 10 pounders out of. My buddies in the Bay Area have turned me on to them. I cannot go in there unless I have an all-electric boat. But if I had an all-electric John boat, they'd be game over. So I'm thinking maybe I do want to get a second boat. I don't have anywhere I can really store it, so I'd have to like eat a spot or something and park it and block it off, and set it over here and have a 3-car garage and put it in one of the driveways over there or something. But I don't know. That'd be interesting though, because then I could fish the rivers. I could fish a lot of different stuff. And I'm very open into that. Honestly, I got a raft. I'm psycho crazy stupid, right? I will get in my raft and go fishing down the river all fat and overweight and old as I am. And sure enough, 6 to 8 hours into the trip, my back is like broken, but I'm usually had a ton of fun, caught a lot of fish, and it's always interesting. So I do that sometimes. I haven't done it in a while, but it's right over here. I can go. It's on the other side of this wall. You can go blow it up and go float the river right now. But that's not as comfortable as a John boat. And if you get the right size one, you can get into almost any spots. So interesting idea. Virgil, yep. That's what I'm saying. I could lay it next to this house right here. Virgil hit it up. Yep. You got gas and lunch for a Shasta trip for sure. I'm thinking about doing Shasta or Trinity. If you got the gas and the lunch for it, you might have to have gas, lunch, and dinner. I don't know, man. That's a long trip. But I don't know. If I do that, I think when I do that one, I'm getting a motel room and I'm going to stay up for the night. And what I'll probably do is smash up there in the morning and fish all day, get a motel room, charge the boat, camp up, relax, fish, and then come home, drive home, fish until like 5 and then come home. That way I have almost a day and a half of fishing, but I also am rested, boat's charged, and then I've got a little bit of a game plan, and then we can record, right, all that good stuff. So for you guys, don't smash that like button if you guys get a chance. Really appreciate it. But I'm crazy. I'm a fun dude. Like, I'll invite the whole world, the internet. I'll literally be like, come on. I'm more than happy. I'm a cool dude. As long as everybody else keeps it cool, I'm super mellow. So I'd tell people like, hey, I'm going to rent a whole village. And we go to Clear Lake and we rented like multiple cabins. And we had not a ton, but we had a bunch of people show up. It was fun. We had a bunch of Facebook friends, people that we'd never met. Like, we got to meet for the first time. And we actually rented out some cabins out at Clear Lake and had a blast. Stayed there for 3 days. Had a ton of fun. And I plan on doing something like that this year. So if you're interested in getting in on it and you want to fish with Common Sense Fishing this year, you'll probably have your chance to do it like in a big epic style too. Like I still act like I'm 25 sometimes. I love living like not like I'm poor, I'm not rich at all, but I love living happily. I love experiencing life. And so I'm totally game and cool with stuff like that. I don't care that I'm 40 years old. I will go up and rent, a whole side of a mountain if I had to, and if there's enough people. Because basically, what I asked is I asked everyone to throw in on it. So if 100 people show up, it doesn't matter. We just rent, you know, 10 cabins then. And but if everybody pitches in $100, then it's no big deal. You can afford that. It's you got your food, you got your beer, you got everything. So it's epic. So this year, probably going to do something like that again. Maybe you go to like Bass Lake or Tahoe, or either go to back to like I don't know if Clear Lake will stay open. So I prefer a lake that's kind of like a party lake for fun like that, not to do anything stupid, but to just go out and have a good time, where it's fishing, food, everything is all there. So I don't want to go to a lake where like you can get a DUI or you have to leave. I want everything on the lake. I want to be able to have, you know, food, cabins, all that near there. So Clear Lake's one of the best places for that. There's a couple other spots in California like that, but yeah, I've got a couple of friends and I have birthdays coming up, and here's your chance. You want to come hang out with the crew? You'll get invited most likely. Make sure you pay attention on Facebook and on YouTube. I'll announce it when I'm going because they said I'm fun like that, so I don't really care. I pay attention to stuff too, and I don't let stupid people or crazy people hang out in the crew. Get excised real quick. So, but totally cool with meeting new people, having good times, sharing good vibes and good food, good drinks, stuff like that, good memories. You can't buy that kind of stuff. That's what life's about. So I'm one of those. That's just how I roll. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching Common Sense Fishing. How you guys doing tonight? All right, let's read some comments down real quick here. Yeah, looking forward to it. Condensed quality editing. Oh yeah. All right. And Gate Hotel. All right, when we headed to Clear Lake again? Hell yeah, Clear Lake would be sick. We can do that if you guys want to do it now. We better do it before the lake gets too low. We better do it before I get broke. And I say no because I do heating and air. And once the heat goes away and the money starts going away, I'll probably start stressing a little bit. But that's life. I'll go get a second job if I have to. I don't care. Whatever. I don't really bitch about stuff. I just keep on trucking. That's just how I was. So if we're gonna do it, then we need to do it probably sometime now or like I think they're gonna close the lake in August. So you guys want to make another trip? I'm game. Or we could even wait until the cold weather comes and hopefully we get a little rain. And I don't know, that's kind of, you'll get less people will come, less people, but the diehard fools will be there. And those are some fun trips. You get big fish and the stench will go away. What do you call it? The algae bloom will be gone. So there's some trade-offs to waiting until towards the end of the year. Or what we do is maybe do a Delta one. They have a KOA on the Delta. They've got a campground. They've got plug-ins. They've got a swimming pool. They've got arcade games and barbecue pits. So there's some options, folks. Let me know. Mark, now if you want to roll again, I'm down, dude. It's like I said, birthday trip's coming right around the corner, so we can pull it early if you guys want. Diehards only. Yeah. That's where we go in the wintertime. We go in November because that's when our birthdays really are, and only the diehards go. So it's up to you guys how you guys want to do it. Super open to doing a subscriber trip or where I'm literally opening the invite to anybody and everybody on YouTube that could make it. And that would be interesting if this video went viral and like 1,000 people showed up. That would be the most awesome thing ever. I'd be laughing hilariously. But hey, if they all had their money to put in on it, we'll figure it out. We'll roll around and rent every motel for like 100 miles. You know what I mean? Every Airbnb that we got to. And then we're not fishing games like you guys can't have we're not having a tournament. We're just 100 fools that showed up all at the same time. Hey, now, it'd be like if like PewDiePie or Logan Paul or Jake Paul or somebody was like, yeah, I'm going to be right here this day and everyone can come. Oh, I can imagine. That would be a hilarious picture, though. And I would be the fool trying to pull it off, too. You know me. But yeah, that'd be super fun and cool. If you guys are interested in doing something like that, reach out to me through Facebook or let me know. I'm super game. Especially you get a few guys and gals going, and you can actually rent like a cabin, a place where everyone can have their own room or beds and stuff, and there's not like crammed. Because like you get a motel room, that's only 2 people, unless you got really close friends, then maybe 4 or 2 per bed. But that's always lame. That's why I like when we got cabins, we literally almost all had our own rooms. Or like 2 close buddies be in this room, these 2 close buddies be in that room, guy on the couch here, guy on the pull-out bed over there. And then we had, you could have other cabins and other rooms and stuff. Compete, sleep on the floor if people want to. But we had fun, man. If you guys check it out, we did a Clear Lake trip. We actually took a video. We did a YouTube video of it. And we had about 16 people show up. And we did tri-tip. We had hard alcohol and beer. And we barbecued. And we got thrashed and had a great grand time. And we stayed there for 3 days at Clear Lake. And the group got smaller each day until at the end there's like the last 5. Like, and got like a 6-pound, a 5.5 or something like that, almost a 6-pounder, 5 and some change, something like that the last day. So it was fun. But anyways, yeah. So how are you guys doing this Monday night? Thanks for tuning in and watching Common Sense Fishing. Wife came in clutch, brought me some beer. Oh yeah, that's what we usually do too, is try to bring guys with boats. We'll get together and we have a bunch of boats go. Mark Nav's got a boat, if we get him to go. And I don't know if Justin, if Callie Basson has a boat. I know he has a boat, but I don't know if you want to go and take his little guy. What beer am I sipping on? Dust Bowl? Peace, love, and haze. Stoner beer, man. How you doing? No, that's my favorite phrase. If you have not seen the movie Norbit, please take the time to watch it. You will thank me later. You will say, that was some funny ass shit there, Common Sense. Thank you. And then you will also get my references when I say, how you doing? I love it. Rasputia is like my favorite. Yeah, this is good beer right here. I tell you what. It's almost, what is it, 6.3? I was going to say almost 7%, but it's anything over 6. It's almost 7. No, it's 6.3. It's almost 6. It's just over 6. Rasputia. Oh, I love that movie where the scene, they play it twice in the movie, okay, where she gets in the car with him, and she's this big old fat beezy, right? And you got to understand, Eddie Murphy plays all the characters. So Eddie Murphy's this squinty, dweeby nerd, right? And he's also playing this big old giant fat beezy, right? And she's got this tiny, itty-bitty little car. And so he's sitting in the passenger seat, and she's getting in, and she's all like just squeezing her big old self in, right? And she's yelling at Norbert. Norbert, told you not to be messing with my seat. And he's like, well, Rasputia, I didn't mess with your seat. He's all, yes, you did. Why were my titties, they honking the hole when I breathe, see? And she starts honking the horn with her big old tits, right? Bang, bang. See, scientifically proves you mess with my seat. I love it. She said it's scientifically proved that he messed with her seat. And so throughout the movie, she puts him through hell, and he starts finally growing a pair of balls, right? And towards the end, the same scene happens, right? And they go to get in the vehicle, and why are you messing with my seat? And he tells her, he says, well, you know, Rasputia, you have been eating a lot. Maybe you're just getting, and she just punches him, pow, right? And he's all, maybe the car's just shrinking. Yeah, maybe the car is just shrinking. Huh. Yeah, maybe that's right. That's right. Car's just shrinking. How you doing? What's up, Jimmy? What's up? I'm having fun, just having a good time. Good to see everybody on the live stream tonight. Thanks for dropping in and saying hi, everybody. Hope you didn't mind my Rasputia moment there. But if you have seen Norbit, it is the funniest shit ever to see Eddie Murphy as a fat black female and going crazy and doing her little Rasputia thing, and seeing Terry Green, or what's his name, or Terry Crews, seeing Terry Crews scared shitless of her. I love that movie, to watch Rasputia beat up Terry Crews. Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, good sized crowd tonight. We got 15 in here right now. We had 17 or more, I think, in earlier. So heck of cool. Glad to see everybody here tonight. Thanks for watching. Smash that subscribe and like button. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. If you're returning, welcome to the channel. Thanks for watching. Smash that like if you guys get a chance. Really appreciate it. So you guys know how we do. We drink beers and we talk ish. So the first half of the video, I was basically letting everybody know, I tried to give you guys some little tips and tricks on some big fish fishing, but really I got excited breaking into what we're planning on doing in the channel here. Smallmouth fishing, getting into the Sierras and into the lakes up there like Lake Almanor, all that good stuff. Talked about the boat having some boat troubles. It's taking on some water. Hopefully it's just a hose. I can't find any cracks. So catch you guys all up to speed, yada, yada, blah, blah, and beer. So here we are. Thank you guys for watching. We growing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure every once in a while you get the random person who's not new here, and they click on, they're like, whoa, they watch a few seconds, and then like they catch me at the wrong time when I'm doing like a Rasputia moment or something. They're like, what the hell? Click off. You never know. Hopefully I catch you at the right time and they're like, this guy is funny as shit, let's watch this dude. Subscribe. How you doing? Right? I at least try to be entertaining. I try to give some tips and tricks. Try to be truthful, always help out, show the spots where I'm at, what I'm using, genuine, honest to goodness help. And I'm not a pro, I'm not a guide, but I am experienced in fishing. I'm decent at fishing. So I like to share, and I think we all have something we could all learn from each other in life, period, fishing or not. So it's cool to share stuff. I like this Common Sense family, the little group that we've built here. Yeah, we've got 1,500 subs, and I don't see a lot of them all the time, but here on this live stream, we've got a steady little group of guys and gals that drop in every once in a while. It's cool to see every single one of you. For the people who are watching this later, if you managed to make it this far through the video, what are you doing? Smash that subscribe button. But yeah, anywho, let's read some comments here. I got to pull some 5 or more on our trip. What's your favorite Big Papa colors? Cold-blooded and any other ones? Heck yeah, cold-blooded and Delta Craw. Those are my 2 favorite. They're both crawdad, cold-blooded see-through. It's a little bit more of a clear color. Delta Craw's got orange and bright red in it. Those are my two favorite craw colors and two favorite ish colors. I also do like his perch, and I also like he used to have, I believe it's discontinued. If you can find it, it is hands down my favorite Biggie Papa crankbait is called the Crackle. If you can look it up and find an old one, find the Ish Monroe Biggie Papa Crackle, and it's chartreuse and black. And that thing was hands down one of the deadliest crankbaits I've ever thrown. So I love that. I love that thing with a passion. So, can you explain a nightlight setup? Grab whiteboard. Oh, for sure. I got the whiteboard right here. What I think we're going to do on the live streams, I may start putting, I may get like an easel type setup to put a whiteboard here and adjust the camera to where you guys, we can chat and chill. Then I could live stream on the whiteboard and teach. I think that would be really cool. I don't have a way of doing that just yet. I've got to get like a little easel set up, right? My whiteboard's right there. Then what we could do is you guys can ask questions. I could go directly to the whiteboard, wipe it all off, start talking, and boom, boom, we can talk about different weights and hooks and lakes and shorelines and all kinds of stuff. That'd be something I'd really like to do on a live stream too with you guys, so that it's super interactive. You guys bring up a spot. I can even get on my phone and you guys can say, let's break down Frank's track. All right, and then I bring up Frank's track and we'll draw it on the whiteboard, and we'll show where the main channel's at, where all the stuff, where the current comes in and comes out, spots that I'd look for to break down. I can tell you guys each and every spot I've had 5+ pounders on where I've seen them, but honestly, they move. Don't sleep on any of them, but there are spots that are kind of like obviously good spots for a reason. So I would be super down and interested in doing that. But that's for the live streams. The regular channel, I'm super excited to announce I'm going to be fishing a lot in the Sierra Nevadas and in the lakes up there looking for smallmouth. So we're going to see how that goes, being that I do have a big bass boat. So we got to put the logistics together, but we are going to make at least a few of those trips happen. I'm going to get out of my shell. I really want to do that this summer. So stoked. Now, RC Creative, he's got to pull some 5 or more on our trip. Heck yeah, dude. We're going to put you on some big ones, hopefully. And yeah, I'd be glad to explain the night light setup, we'll do that for sure. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Big Bass. But I need to learn how to use the programming to do the dual split screen. But good question. If you fire away, I'm more than happy to talk about it. So talk about night bass lights for a second. So 2 things. It's really important that you have lights at night for your safety and everybody else's safety. So you got to make sure you have your running lights, your big pole light in the back, and the small nav lights in the front. Now, here's a little tips and tricks for night fishing and lights. For one, if you use black lights or LED lights that are purple or black light, you will have enough light to see to tie your lures and to see around on the deck, and the fish will not see that light. It is better and more visible than green at night and will do you much better. So they sell them in LED strips that you can tape along the side of your boat, and then you just run them to a little power source. Super easy to do, a little fuse that goes in there. There's a couple of different ways that you can do it. I've even seen a guy who uses the $5.99 like little lamps that you can buy from Home Depot or Lowe's. They have a clamp and they're a dish, and he actually screws in a black light, and then he clips it onto the side of the boat and he plugs it into his little inverter, and he can take right from his battery, and he provides black light. So couple of different things. I think it's super important not to use light when fishing if possible, to literally only use your lights for safety and completely fish in the dark if you can. If you cannot see and you need lights, headlamps are super important, and make sure you have ones with multiple settings so you can use them on the low setting to conserve battery, last through the night, and not blind yourself. Because here's the trick is if I'm not going to turn the lights off right now, but if you go into the bathroom when we're done tonight, go into the bathroom and close your eyes when the lights are on. Close your eyes and then wait about 5 seconds and turn the lights off. And when you open your eyes, you'll actually be able to see things in the bathroom. You'll actually be able to see. And then do the same thing and close your eyes, turn the lights on, wait for about 5 seconds and open your eyes, and you will be perfectly fine, right? Now do the same experiment and do not give yourself any time. Walk into the bathroom with the light on and flip the switch completely black. It'll be dark. It'll take you about 20 seconds or so for your eyes, your mind, and everything to adjust. And then flip the light back on and watch. It does the same thing. And when your brain has to recuperate, it takes a lot longer too. So when you're flipping your headlamp on and off, if you have it at a very low setting and providing just enough light for you to see what you're doing, you will not be blinded. The fish won't see, and it's just a win-win for you. If you have to use bright lights, that is all bad. If you're that blind, you shouldn't probably be night fishing, in all honesty. Bright lights will not help you. They're not good. And another thing I'd recommend, I see fools at nighttime fishing all the time. It's the funniest shit ever. I see guys, I'm dead serious. It's the funniest stuff ever. I'm sitting here fishing at night. We're doing a night tournament or I'm pre-fishing or I'm having fun. And I'll see night bass fishermen. And they got their light and they're shining it up and down the damn mountain. Like they're looking at where they're going to cast. It's like, you stupid. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to be judgmental and mean, but it's like, that is a super no-no. Do not take a spotlight and shine it at the shore so you can gauge how far it is or something. If you're going to do that, like no. Shine it way up the mountain maybe. I don't know. Even then, like you shouldn't have to. That's where if you have a headlamp and you've got a really low setting, you can click it on low and then you can see and then you can turn it off. Bright, avoid spot and searchlights. Have one on your boat for safety, but black lights is king above red and green. Black and purple lights, LED, that's it. And then another thing I'd recommend is I use a mesh hat, right, where you can kind of see through, and I'll take my hat and I'll put it over the big light in the back so that strong white light doesn't blind me or affect me. If I turn around and look back, and I see that stupid light, it affects you. So I hang my hat over it. So in the front, I can't see the light, but in the back, the light's shining out through the mesh part and everybody behind the boat can see it. But the hat front right here, it blocks completely the light. So none of it shines into my eyes or anyone who's with me. So, oh man, being on the Delta all night long is fun. Just, I think you got to have super balls to drive the Delta like all crazy. What I like doing is you go out on the Delta, I like launching lads, and then from lads, I come around and I head south towards downtown, and I just use trolling motor, and I just cover shore the whole time, and I crankbait, and I do I do night Delta runs all the time. I love them. It's awesome. But I'm chicken shit to run. I don't like driving. I don't like changing spots. I'll launch and then I'm fishing. And I'll drive. I'll putt really slow. I'll move around from spot to spot, but I'm not going to launch from lads and drive to Frank's track at night. If you do that, more power to you. I'm not touching that run. But I would more than likely, from Frank's or from Lads to Lois Park, from Lads to like Windmill and stuff and all that. Yeah, I'm not going and Lads to downtown. Yeah, but I'm not going to run at night at the Delta. That's just not me. But because there's so many fish there, you don't have to. Just start fishing. Yeah, the big boats left of Lads, those are great areas. That's the Gun and Rod Club right there. And there's the big Navy ship. We get up along that, we use Senkos and crankbaits, and we kill them all the time right there at the Delta. And then our little secret spot is right up there by Lois Park. That's like 10 Pound Central. You guys want to know where 10 Pound Central is on the Delta? Who wants to know where the biggest bass in the California Delta have been for me and for two of my friends? I'll give this spot away. It's super easy. And then because you may go there and you may not do good at all and think I'm bluffing you, but it really is the baddest mofo in the whole damn town. All right. So the red dot here, that's Lois Park. That's just up past Lads. This right here is Smith Canal. Down here is Lads. So you come up and you go around and in, and that is the launch right there for Lois Park, right? This L that you see right here is the best spot on the California Delta for me. Damn near the best spot on the California Delta, almost right there. Swear to God, I'm not lying. Night fishing at Don Pedro. Oh, dude, we used to catch them all the time at Pedro at night, big ones. A lot of people have caught monsters. So my buddy Jeremy, he's got a 12-pounder out of Pedro at night. I've got like a 6 or a 7 out of Pedro at night. He's got an 8 out of Pedro at night. I've got a 10 and 10.9 out of Pedro at night. And when I was a kid, my buddy Jeremy, he'll tell you, even at like 18, I lost a fish that was probably in the 14, 15 pound range at night. Yeah, because we had already caught a double digit. We knew what it looked like. And this was like the first teener that I think we'd ever seen. And the thing freaking, it was a full moon, and I'm using a big old 10-inch curly worm Texas rig. I bomb the sucker out as far as I can, and I'm dragging it in. I just get this little tick. I set the hook. I fight this thing for like 10 minutes, and my buddy's with me here the whole time. We get it maybe 10, 15 feet from us, and I'll never forget that the silhouette of the moon was about a foot or two above the like the the horizon. Like you can see the water and the lake, and it was just like right there, right? Big old beautiful moon. Like it just seemed right there. The fish jumped out, and it was so clear. You could just see the fish couldn't come all the way out of the water. The tail wouldn't make it all the way out, but it was so huge. Big, one of the biggest bass I've ever seen, and it threw my worm, and I was down there crying. And I've had a few snap me off. Jeremy's had a few snap him off. Don Pedro is an epic, epic place for night fishing. And again, it's almost always going to be reactionary lures that we get them at night. They're almost always crushing crankbaits, spinner baits, and things like that. So last 3 double digits have all came off of crankbaits actually there that I know of from me and my buddies. And then the first, a 12-pounder that came off a spinner bait. So all moving lures at nighttime at Pedro, double digits. Just that lake is freaking awesome. I don't got enough good things to say about it, but right now I would be fishing Maloney's over Pedro. Again, only because Pedro, like, I don't like running around at night either. So it's like I like being able to fish close to the launch. So Blue Oaks and Mexican Gulch, Fleming Meadows area, all that whole area. I like fishing in Pedro at night. But if the fish aren't there and they're up by Moccasin Woods, Mid Lake, the graveyard, the boneyard, they're up in Rogers or Wood. I don't like running too much at night at Pedro. I mean, I will. Pedro's not as scary or not as tricky. I put myself in my own little box because I mean I'm not very well off. I have this YouTube channel, right? And it's like I don't want to risk my boat, going just trying to fish at night. So I'm more of a cautious guy at night. But it's served me well because I fish very thoroughly. So instead of running and going around, I just live or die by whatever spot. And if it really sucks, then maybe the next time, instead of launching out of Blue Oaks or Fleming Meadows, I'll actually drive my boat and truck all the way to Moccasin and I'll launch from there. And then I'll fish all around there at night. And I might kill it, So I don't know. I don't like running at night too far. I'm a chicken shit. And it's mostly because, again, I'm just afraid, of my boat. I don't want to sink it or mess anything up. You're going 25 miles an hour, you're not going to die even if you hit the land, you're going to be all right. Your boat probably ain't though, right? So that's just about it. And then we're in a drought. So if the lake was full, I'd be less paranoid about running it. It just all it all depends, For example, 4 or 5 years ago, I would have ran these lakes no problem. I didn't have my boat then. I mean, actually, I did have my other boat, and I night fished in it somewhat. But I just, when the lakes are low, I don't like risking running into unmarked obstacles because different lakes, they don't have markers. So, anyways, let's read some more comments here. Big spinner baits and jigs. What do you know about bass and Don Mormon and all the double digits is called out of Pedro? Oh, I know Don Mormon's caught a lot of big bass. I know that name. I've heard a lot of good things about him. I've heard he's caught a lot of big fish out of Pedro. Don Mormon and a couple other guys kind of have names for being Pedro and McClure sticks. But I tell you, so does Jeremy Bashafell's got, a couple of double digits out of Pedro too. He's got a 12, he's got a 10, he's got a few. But I don't think not nowhere near as many as Don Mormon. I've heard he's a, pretty good fisherman. I honestly couldn't say much though because I've never met the guy, or if I did, I don't remember. It would be burnout of me, I don't recall, but I've heard good things. So, like I said, I think most of the guys in this fishing community are pretty cool. The worst people I've ever met in the fishing community are honestly the hardcore bass tournament guys. There was one group of dudes, two white older gentlemen, probably 60, 70 years old, and they seen me and my daughter out at Lake McClure, and they were dropping like $100,000 bass boat with like a $60,000 truck. And it was two ancient old white dudes, and they're probably prepping for some kind of SenCal Elite or some kind of like big or whatever. So one of the big tournaments, not even SenCal, one of the bigger ones, probably. And they were definitely well off. And I think I had seen them around before, but not much. They're not locals. And these two dudes were pretty nice, cordial guys. And I told them about how me and my daughter, we had caught like over 100 on Med rigs and this and that. And they were like, "Oh, really? Yeah, yeah." And they asked me, "Oh, you got a YouTube channel?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I told them my name. And I put out the video like a couple days later, and they watched it, and they commented some nasty, vile things about like how if if my fat ass can like, if I can bend down to pull the fish off the carpet or do this or that, then I should like bend down to release the fish nice, because I was catching so many fish, I was just unhooking them and tossing them in, and then catch another one, unhook it, and then toss it, not throwing it, just literally just dropping it in the water, unhook it, drop it in the water. And I went through like 100 and something fish that day. And it was hella fun. and they were just super mean assholes. And then the other time I ran into nasty people that were also bass fishermen, and it was future pro tour guys. And I know who they are too. They're freaking dicks. They had a white boat that has a double console, and then on the front they have two circular stickers. I don't remember what it was, but older, whiter gentlemen, and they have a white Ford or a white Chevy, a white truck, brand new almost. And I was at New Maloney's all by myself with my kid, and the waves and wind were super crazy. And the the lake was super low, and there was not a lot of people around. And I'm all by myself, and there was three places I could have tied up. There was a boat on this side of the dock, the ramps on this side. So I pulled up to the very end of the dock where you'd normally pull up to let people off, right? And this guy had already let the guy off to go get his truck, I think, and or was going to, but there was still enough dock, and only like a foot of my boat was poked out about the front because the way I had to tie it, there was like only one tie up to. It was crazy, but I tied up where I had to. I don't remember the reason why, but I know like there was other boats too that were there. And so I tie up, I go get, and I leave my like 10-year-old son in the boat. And I go and I get my truck, I run in, I get my truck, and I go to bring it and back it up and turn it around. Well, those guys had came up and were like, the one guy was dropping off the other guy, and they came up and they bumped into my boat. Not, and my boat was parked, right? And they got all bitchy and pissed, and they started cussing at my son to move the effing boat and this and that. But what the hell was I thinking parking there and this and that? Just nasty piece of shit dudes. Honestly, the worst dudes I've ever met fishing have been rich ass bass fishermen. So hopefully that's not you guys watching out there, but they seem to be, when they get to a certain, either three things, I think, and I'll never be this person. When they get to a certain age, when they get to a certain financial money status, whatever, they think they're just, or when they think they're special, when they think they're actually big shot bass fishermen, and that like they own the lake and that they should get the dock first, or that they, and everything's about them, and they have no courtesy. They're just super gung ho, like hard. Those are the dudes that would literally cut you off, wake you out, and fuck you up just to try to get to a spot 2 seconds before you, because money, money, money. I got to win the trophy, right? Just, I hate dudes like that. To be very honest, this ain't a channel for someone like that. I'll personally pick you up and throw you in the lake. I don't like people like that. Like I said, I've only met a couple of them. The bass fishing community and fishing community is a lot of good people. A lot of good people. It's just those two times. And yes, they were both high-end, old, ornery ass, bass fishermen. So, anyways, why are some of the big sticks just lone wolves? I don't know. That's how I am too. I guess I like fishing with a lot of people, but I like going out by myself a lot. I think also when you get to be a big stick and you catch a lot of fish and you catch a lot of big fish, I think one of the things is you don't want to share what you're using and where you're using. Because if people knew those two factors, fishing's not that hard. Like it's just, there's a million different lures in a million different places. So if you literally said, I'm cranking these rocks and there's schools of 8+ pound bass up, and because you fished the lake. So let's talk about Pedro. Let's say you're a stick at Pedro and Hatch Creek is where there's a bunch of 8 to 10 pounders right now. And you're getting them on, let's say, instead of they're in a specific range, they're suspended in 20 feet over 30 feet of water, and you're getting them with the a 6XD, and you're on this specific bite and you're killing them. If any old doof went over there and threw a 6XD in the same spot, they would catch that same fish most likely. Fishing is like a lot of it's skill, right? But if other people knew what you were using and where you were using, that skill is kind of easy to duplicate once, or not like super easy, but I mean that isn't that hard to duplicate if if you have those factors. Now, yeah, there could be some things in what color, what depth, or were you like reeling it super fast? Were you reeling it super slow? Did you give some erratic jerks? But really, the point is this: is if there's giant fish in the area. So if you're a good stick at a lake and you fish it a lot or a body of water, and you follow these fish and you start to learn and know where these big fish are at a lot of the time, and hence you don't want everybody and their mom coming and fishing and following with you and ruining your fishing. And then in order to become a stick at a lake, you put a lot of time and hours on that lake. So what happens is if you blow that spot up, now you've got to go somewhere else, and that doesn't guarantee you're going to catch those big fish. I don't. That's my guess on why probably the real big sticks run solo. Who knows? But yeah, I think it's a big thing is if you start it young. So if you start bass fishing really hardcore at a young age and you do it, then you probably got a good shot at being a pro regardless if you're decent at it. I think what happens is you got a lot of weekend warrior guys that get into it and they get really, really into it and they love it, and then they fish all these tournaments. I don't know if it's becoming a pro, or I think some of them it's almost like pool shark mode. Like there's some really good guys and they just go around and cherry pick and they try to win. But honestly, there's a lot of these circuits and tournaments. You win 500, you win $800, 600, whatever, dude. I mean, you even if you win first place, you're only getting 2-3 grand in a lot of these tournaments. You got to fish a decent tournament to win even 4 or 5 grand, even, right? You got to have 100 boat field, so or more. So I mean, in these lakes with the drought conditions, there's not a lot of money. So what it is in order to become a pro too, and it's let me put it to you this way too. I honestly think a lot of normal fishermen, like not normal, let's put it, this may make some people mad, but I think there's a lot of good fishermen that beat the shit out of them pros. But they don't have $100,000 boat. They don't have $100,000 truck. They don't have a wife with $200,000 a year job or a family royalty. They don't have the money. Their mommy and daddy wasn't rich, didn't have the money, and so they don't have the money. Let's put it to you this way: if your mom and dad owns X and Y and Z, has all this money, and you're put into fishing at 3 years old, and you're allowed to fish, and you get at 16 you get a bass boat, your mommy and daddy can buy you one, and a lot of that times I think there's a lot of good anglers that don't get the chance. And I put that in the same aspect of music. There's a lot of artists that I think have the look, they have the sex appeal, they have the swag, and then people talent, right, looks, they get those and they put them on the main screen. And so the artists we hear and we see, we love them so much. And there's great ones, Frank Sinatra, right? You got Britney Spears in their little pop cope or whatever. You got like all kinds of different singers, right, on different levels and different genres of music. But tell me, do you not think that there's a million musicians in the world that are just badass Beethoven level, but they don't have the money, they don't have the opportunity, they didn't, because let's put it to you this way: in order to fish like a pro, you have to enter tournaments that are $15,000, $5,000, whatever, $1,000 buy-ins. The tournaments that most of us fish and these guys fish, $100 buy-ins, $60 buy-ins, $200 buy-ins. Well, you go to fish the FLW or this pro shit, you got to put 5 grand, 10 grand. Now, who's got that kind of money, right? So a lot of professional fishing is already geared towards the very wealthy. And then when you're fishing on that level as a kid, your mommy and daddy are very wealthy. Trust me. It's not like you're just some poor ass joke from the trailer trash park. At 3 years old, you're a magic stick all of a sudden. At 10 years old, you're good. And then, ooh, someone's giving you. You got that bass boat and those fancy poles and that gear. You got that from somewhere. And so I hate to get emotional about it, but I'm saying, like, I think there's a lot of good fishermen out there. And I'm not even talking about myself. Like, my buddy Jeremy Bashafel, he's much better fisherman than me, right? And I think he'd kick half these pros' ass. If he had a boat and he had the gear, he'd beat the shit out of these pros. He'd wipe the floor with them, half of them. And I put my money and my life on it. But he don't have 10 grand to enter the tournament. And then some of these pros lose some, win some, right? So what are you fishing, 20 tournaments a year at a grand or 1,500 or 3,000 a pop? You might have to spend 30 or 40 grand in buy-ins just to fish a whole tournament series. So who's got that kind of money? There's really much more to it than that. But you're right, it is pipe dreams. I think you got a lot of these guys, if they're fishing tournaments, I think it's two things. And I'm going to be honest, I'm the same way. I do it too. Is we do it because we're competitive. We do it because we want to see who's the best, and we do it because of our pride a little bit, right? We want that wood. We want that trophy. We want to say that, man, we tried our best. We won, right? But I think some dudes genuinely have these like aspirations of becoming bass pros. And at best, you're going to become a guide or kind of a, yeah, there's, yeah, getting into actual bass pro is not easy. It takes a lot of skill. I don't think a lot of people could necessarily just do it, especially, shoot, if you've been fishing since you were 3 or 4 years old, hell yeah, you got a shot. Rich or poor, chase your dreams if that's what you want to do. But I don't want skin cancer. I don't want to, I don't want to be away from my family. I don't want to be fishing in Tennessee one day, Michigan another. That's not for me, right? It's only for certain people. But I do think you got a small portion of the bass fishermen are pipe dream chasing. They want the fame. They think they're going to be bass pros. But I think a good majority of us are just competitive. We're men like Tim the Tool Man, and we just want to go out and have fun and win. And we want for the pride of it, for the joy of it, and because nobody's going to get rich bass fishing. Not nobody, but not a lot of us. You stack, and it's the same thing NFL. There's probably a lot of good football players, but only so many make it into the NFL. And there's probably a lot of good street ball players that never got a chance to play high school sports or college sports that could have if they would have, right? Coulda, woulda, shoulda, though. But that's where I hate, I don't hate, but I guess like one thing that kind of bugs me is dynasties and nepotism, like the idea that because someone's son, that they should be, Scott Martin, Aaron Martin, Roland Martin, just because your daddy's good at something doesn't mean you're going to be. Now, fishing, maybe, yeah, but then, it's like, well, did he earn his spot or did daddy really get him that spot? And then, like, did other kids at that age had daddies with, that kind of money and boats and sponsors and lures and power? So if little Timmy wanted to be a bass pro, little Scotty probably had a leg up on him, don't you think, with, Daddy Martin? So I'm just saying, like, I'm not into kings and queens and royalty. The same thing with entertainment. I don't like watching movies because so and so was Tom Hanks' kid. I could care less who the hell. If they can't act, well then, you know what I mean? So anyways, I went on a rant, but you know how it is. Let's read some more comments here. Talk about the guys that are on promotional staff. They get no money from the company, maybe a little product, and become complete salesmen. I will never sail out and do that shit. So if I start doing that, I want each and every one of y'all guys to troll the shit out of me on Facebook, on YouTube, on anything and everything. Please believe me. I will always be me and have a good time and keep it real. I hope like I don't piss people off, but I am who I am. I'm just going to spit the truth how I feel it. And it may not always be that, Yeah, and I'm always open to like, hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but we all got our opinions, right? And I'm happy to share mine. So that's what we have the YouTube channel for. Now, yeah, that would never be me. So we're following Big Bass right now. So there are a lot of guys, I think, that pro staff, the bait makers and stuff like that, pump them up. They see them post some big pictures on Facebook. Like everybody starts pumping their pictures out. They're trying to sell themselves and sell like it, not what we're all doing in an aspect, but if you try too hard, you just make it look bad, right? Just go out, have fun, fish, and do you. And if you're gonna do something, I guess chase your dream. But you get a lot of these guys, I think they end up like that because they're trying too hard but not hard enough. Like they're trying to get shortcuts. I think that's what I was looking for is guys that want to like shoot to the top. They want to be known. They want the recognition. Oh, check out so and so's lures, and they, like you said, they kind of become complete salesmen for something that they're not even really believing in themselves. I've seen it actually, and I'm not going to say a name, but right, you know how it is. The thing that makes me sick about bass fishing tournament guys, they'll lose 56 place 9 pass, but they justify it in sport. You were the winner or you were the second loser. Oh yeah, yeah. We all I think do that. Yeah, very few fishermen go pro, and I think sometimes a lot of us do that in life when, like, say you had 60 votes and you came in 20th place. And that's like not that good, not that bad, whatever, but it's nothing to talk about. But let's say they paid out to 18th place. And now you're second out of the money. I almost got a check, like type of stuff. Yeah. I've been there and done that. It's like you're almost, but you didn't. Because the true goal is always first place, right? So if you didn't hit at least first, second, or if you didn't hit first, second, or third, you can't stand on the podium. There's no fourth, fifth, or sixth, even if you do get a check, right? It's usually gold, silver, and bronze, and everybody wants gold. Everyone wants first. So yeah, I think we're all guilty of that, even me, in a sense. But that's why. See, I want to tournament fish and I'll say it's only when I do tournament fish, I only want to do it for fun and for the challenge and just to see if I can get a trophy or two. Hey, I got no aspirations of getting money or becoming a professional bass fisherman. I would love to become as good as fishing as I could. And even if I became so good at fishing that I really could become a professional pro bass fisherman, like fishing the bass leagues, FLW, whatever, fishing just hardcore on the big level with Skeet Reese and all them guys, right? Kevin Van Dam. Even if I could, I don't think I'd want to. I think I would want to pursue this. I would want to pursue the pursuit of kind of like podcasting, chatting, and teaching, sharing, entertainment, fun. Me. I want to just have fun and do me and like the guys that watch and gals that watch this show, the kind of fun, entertaining stuff. Not a sellout. You're never gonna see like me if I ever do get a sponsor or anything like that. I'll tell you guys, well, we're being sponsored, but you're never going to see me shilling something like, hey, folks, try this. Unless like Bijan's jigs. I got a double digit on this dude's jigs. So, and I've caught a lot of fish on him. So I'm proudly gonna boast about his jigs and he pays me nothing. I get nothing for it, but I'm not every video I don't say Bijan jig. I'm not always out like starting every video and I'm not like out chasing the almighty dollar in that. You know what I mean? I think it's important that we keep it real with each other. That's I didn't get a chance to read it before you deleted it, so either way, I was going on my rant. Yep, that happens too. But you know what though? The thing is it's exciting and it's fun. So I like bass fishing tournaments in the fact that it's challenging. It's got its rewards if you keep a level head and you win and you do get ahead. There's things you can learn from it. There's a camaraderie when everybody's meeting afterwards and we're all chatting and talking. There's always good natured jokes. You start to learn and meet the people at these certain events that are cool, that are nice, that are friendly, and that we joke and we laugh and we have good times. So there's something to it. For example, like a guy who rock climbs, like you don't get paid to rock climb, you do it for the experience. And I think a lot of bass fishing for tournaments, honestly, I don't think it really is guys that think they're going to be bass pros. I think there's some of them that have that dream, but I think most guys. Let's put it to you this way: have you ever back in the days heard about poker nights? I would love to do that stuff again. By the way, if anyone's interested in local, I loved poker nights, man. I think it's fun to get people around, sit around, and to drink beer and gamble some money, get a chance at winning a little bit. You might lose a little bit, but it's a fun night. I think that's kind of the principle behind bass fishing for most guys is it's like poker night. It's like you know you're probably going to lose. If you win, you're not going to win a lot, but you're going to have fun. That's the key. So if you get too assholed out about it and you're too chasing the win and worried, then you erased all the fun out of it. And yeah, you're in a lose-lose situation. But I think that if you approach bass fishing and tournament fishing in that matter, and you're not fishing $10,000 tournaments, that's a whole different story. So if you got a ton of money and you're fishing FLW tournaments, well, then if you have the money to burn, that's on you, whatever. But if you're like an average Joe or that's your dream and you're taking your kids' college funds and you're taking money that you could be spending on your wife and you could be buying a home with or something, and you're literally chasing a dragon dream and you're trying to be a pro and unless you really think you got a shot, I mean, whatever, do you, but that's a little selfish, right? I don't think there's a lot of people doing that. I think most guys bass fishing tournaments are doing it for the uh, the experience and the fun of it. That's why I do it. And so I don't know. I think everybody's different. Yeah, if you do too much of that, exactly. But I think there's a little bit of both. Because remember, have you ever been a kid and played football and were real competitive? You loved your friends, and at the end of the game, it was what it was, but you wanted to catch, you wanted to have. So there's still that aspect there. It's just don't take it too far. If you can maintain that joyfulness about it, that's what it's all about. That's what fishing is all about is relaxation, fun, catching fish, de-stressing, the ability to have a skill to feed your family if you needed to in hard times, but it's fun. And if you lose sight of that, I think that can be a big problem. So tournament guys, I think most of us know, I think it's the guys that I explained to you guys, the two old jerks that cussed at my 10-year-old kid and the other jerks that made some nasty comments and were super rude. Those are, I think, exactly who you're talking about, Big Bass King. But I think they're the exception, not the rule. I think there's actually more good regular folks in it now than there is the other way. So it depends probably in what field you're probably talking, like in what circuit. Some of them are more regular Joes that are just out to have fun and they're not chasing the dream. And some guys are really thinking they're gonna, win $1 million, I guess. So, all right. Anyways, okay. So we got. I'm in for a poker night. Phil, you find a club and enjoy fishing. That makes it fun. Exactly. That's right. And I like the common sense fishing family that we got here. This is a cool group of guys and gals. And if we all met up at the lake and wanted to have a tournament against each other and pitch in $100, and pay out the top 5, which that would be illegal without doing with fishing game. Yeah, I'm just saying hypothetically. See, it would be a cool group of guys going out and having fun. I think it's all the setting. All right, now, where's my next trip? I'm thinking next trip. I've got some message requests. I think some of the guys want. I think one guy wants me to fish with him in the Delta. Another dude wants to night fish with me, and another guy wants to night fish with me. And I know I've got to do an install, so I'm assuming my next trip's going to be Thursday, Friday, maybe Friday, Saturday. And so I think it's going to end up probably being one of the mother lode lakes to finish tying in my whiteboard tips and tricks. However, very soon I plan on going to Scotts Valley Reservoir and also Lake Almanor. So I plan on hitting Lake Almanor up soon, and Scotts Valley, I think, are my next 2 targets. Sierra Nevada lakes up past like Orville, way like up going towards like the Nevada border, basically. Who's hot in their area of good fishermen? Maybe a list of 5 guys. Yeah, there's a lot of good fishermen and sticks in this area too, so it would be cool. And then hey, Racho, like you said, if you're in for a poker night, if any of you guys or gals local, man, I'm telling you, do you guys miss? I used to miss that stuff where you sit around the table, you shoot the breeze with some friends, you have some drinks, you have a couple decks of cards and some chips, and you buy in a couple different times. I'd love it where we'd have 10 guys and we'd do a $20 buy-in. So winner would win $200, and you just didn't care. It's $20. I bluff and go all in with a pair of 2s, and if I lost, whatever. Who gives a shit? Then I go and drink and chill and watch a fight or watch a movie. We'd watch something too, right? And then when everybody knocks off and there's a winner, and then we go and we buy in again, and we go as late as we can into the night, partying and drinking, and a couple people win a couple $100. So at worst, let's say you play 2 games, you lose $40. At best case scenario, maybe you lose 20, but you win 200, or win both games, win 400, or play 3 or 4 games. We might even do a buy-in for $50, $60 and win 1,000 or something. That's how we used to do it back in the days. Have a good time, get food, beer, watch a movie or put the fight on, and then just play poker and just have fun and talk. And I think that is something that is just badass that nobody does it no more. Lake Amador is super clean at night, buddy. Have fun out there. Throw a jig. And then I'll tell you one more, Curtis. I don't know how many people from Amador are watching this video right now and are going to hear what I'm about to tell you. But night fish, Amador, go straight to the dam and take a crankbait, square bill, and run that thing within a foot or 2 of the dam, back and forth, and go back and forth the whole night. And you'll get a bunch of 5-6 pounders, trust me. If you catch them, you'll get a bunch of 2 and 3s and a bunch of dinks too. But that dam's loaded at night with monsters. There's a couple other ways. Also, jerk bait or crankbait the docks where all the lights are at right there at night. Or there's a couple rock walls that I throw jigs at. So potluck and poker would be awesome, brother. Well, we got to set it up then. A common sense potluck and poker. If anybody's down, private message me on Facebook and we'll set it up for one of these nights where what we'll do is we'll pick a place to hang out, my house or someone's or wherever, and we'll do poker and potluck. Bring some food, beer, play poker, buy in, win some money. I can't officially say that though, huh? I think, well, yeah, no, I don't endorse gambling. YouTube, don't hate me. I love you, YouTube. Got to be like, don't censor me. Thank goodness. I know I'm a small channel, so I don't really have to worry about it right now. But all it's got to take for is me to upset that one person, and they flag me or say something. Then one moderator, oh my goodness. Yeah, there's 2 rock walls that I would throw jigs at that are in the back on Amador. And I'm just going to tell you they're towards the back. There's 2 different ones, and they're kind of rocky chunk walls, jigs. All right. Then the other thing is get up on that rock dam and just cruise it back and forth. It will reload constantly, and there will be monsters that are sitting there eating the crappie and stuff that are there with the light from the docks, and the monsters will be there. And let's just go ahead and say it, I was there about a week and a half ago, and there was loaded with fish. I caught a bunch. So hope it helps. Get out there and have fun. Let me know how it goes. Goodness, folks, I just noticed we ran all the way till 9:30. Holy smokes. Sorry, I didn't mean to drag you guys on that late. Looks like we had so much fun. We just missed our mark, and we just kept going. Sometimes I get on at 6 and we run to 9, but I was just going to do a 7 to 9. So thank you guys, everybody, for watching. Before I get off for the night, does anybody have any last minute questions or anything they want to talk about, or any ideas for for Wednesday's live stream? Thank you guys. Thank you, keeping it real. I plan on moving topics soon, and I want to talk about some other stuff soon. So I'm hoping to, get out and do some smallmouth fishing soon. But I think we're going to start kind of covering some different tips and tricks when we do it. But always, how we do this on the live stream, we usually start with some serious fishing information. I like Big Bass King's idea of the of the whiteboard maybe next to me or near me, and being able to more switch back and forth between it and doing some tips and tricks. You guys have questions, we can actually draw on the board and live explain everything. So I might work on that too. But in the meantime, though, I'm definitely stoked to get out and hopefully get into the Sierra Nevadas and do some smallies. But thank you guys and gals for watching. Really appreciate you guys. So we'll give you guys a few minutes. Everybody say good night and sayonara. We'll catch you guys. Don't forget, we do these Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6 to 9 or 7 to 9. And if I miss a day, we pop up the next day, and I'll usually come on during the weekend if I missed a couple days or a day. So try to always provide you with some fun, entertaining content. Hope you guys had a good time tonight. Thank you guys and gals for watching Common Sense Fishing. We'll catch you on the next one.